drop in the polls, but with that tie, they have clinched the Big Ten's berth in the Rose Bowl. You can see that, of course, here on ABC. We'll be with you at halftime with the Prudential Halftime Report, but right now, 5 games of regional interest. Let's take you out to your games. We'll see you later.
Good afternoon and welcome everybody to Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn, Alabama. I'm Mark Jones along with John Spagnola. It's Auburn against Georgia, one of the most heated rivalries in the entire Deep South. We have 0-0. That was just the second play of the ball game. Auburn has the ball as Georgia won the opening flip but decided to defer. And now it is the die-hard starting lineups for the Auburn Tigers. James Bostic is the main offensive weapon for the Auburn Tigers out of the backfield. 3rd down and 5. White. He's got the first down and he hook slides safely into the 42-yard line. He was stopped there by Greg Tremble, the free safety. A pickup of 13 yards on the scramble. And now let's set that Georgia Mad Dog defense for you. First up, though, the offensive line. Wayne Gandy with good feet and good mobility, a great athlete, a tackle for the Tigers. 1st down and 10 for Auburn. The ball at the 41-yard line. Bostic and Richardson line up out of the I. This is Bostic. And he moves the ball out over the 45 to the 46-yard line. The tackle there made by Charlie Clemens and Randall Godfrey. Let's now, I was so anxious before, let's set that Georgia defense for you. Wallace, Barnum, and Jackson up front. Jackson is the team's best pass rusher. The linebackers, a good group, led by Mitch Davis, number 58, 6'3", 237-pound junior. And Greg Tremble is the guy who is the leader in the defensive secondary. The Tigers now on 2nd down and 5, 2 tight ends in. Here's Bostic cutting back over midfield and down to the 46-yard line. So Bostic very busy, John.
But there could be a fumble on the play. The Georgia players are reacting like there is a fumble, and in fact he did. James Bostic did cough the ball up.
So the Georgia Bulldogs will take over in very good field position. The ball at the 49. Mike Jones and Greg Tremble made the hit on Bostic, which caused him to cough it up.
Looks like Mitch Davis, number 58, may have recovered that fumble.
A golden opportunity here now for Eric Zier, the starting quarterback. Only a sophomore, 11 touchdown passes, but 10 interceptions. Out of the offset, Harrison Hurst. Look at those quick feet. Averaging 7.7 yards per pop. Harrison Hurst, 5'11", 195-pound junior. As we look at the die-hard starting lineups, the backs of the receivers for the Bulldogs. Andre Hastings is the team's big play receiver. 2nd down and 4 after that gain of 6 by Hurst. Troy Stark starting in place of Alec Millen, the injured left tackle for Georgia. Play action. Zier rolling out. He fires complete. It'll be spotted by the official at the 35-yard line. That was Brian Bohannon out of Griffin, Georgia on the reception. A pickup of 10 yards and a 1st down for the Dogs.
Pretty nice roll action there by Zier. He likes to throw on the run. They like to move the pocket for him if they can. And Bohannon just ran a real nice comeback and the ball was complete.
Alonzo Etheridge starting in place of Ricky Sutton up front for Auburn. We'll take a look at the rest of the defensive unit in a minute. 1st down and 10 out of the I. This is Hurst again, and this time he is met by James Quick Willis. Willis, one of the leaders from the linebacking spot, along with Karkin Cunningham and Benny Pierce. Cunningham has 4 sacks, and he is the unit's leading tackler. In the defensive secondary, Fred Smith and Calvin Jackson, a couple of good ones. 2nd down and 10. The ball is spotted at the 35-yard line of Auburn. The flanker screen to Hastings and nowhere to go. Good coverage that time by Calvin Jackson, John.
Offensive coordinator Wayne McDuffie for Georgia told us he wants to get the ball into Andre Hastings' hands more often. We asked him how yesterday, and he said by quick screens. There's two ways to run a quick screen. One way is to throw it out in the flat. The other one is to sneak that wide receiver into the middle. In this case, Georgia sneaks the wide receiver into the middle. Look on the left side of your screen. You'll see Hastings buzz in there. James Willis read the play along with a host of other Auburn Tigers.
Ball to 35, third down and 10 to go. Zaire fires it complete to Hastings, and he'll have the first down at the Auburn 22-yard line. So he comes right back to his main man, Hastings, a pickup of 13 yards.
Actually, on the previous play, Calvin Jackson made the tackle on that man coverage, and this time Hastings is isolated on Calvin Jackson. We'll see this matchup most of the afternoon. Zaire's rolling out to his left. There's a nice little shake move there by Hastings. He comes back to the football, as all good receivers do, and converts the first down for Georgia.
John, this offense doesn't waste time. They average 34 points a game, tops in the conference. Hurst. His teammates call him Scooby, and that time he scooted over the 20 down to the 17-yard line, tackled by Chris Schelling.
That's one of the things, actually, that's hurting Garrison Hurst so far this year, and that is that there's so many weapons on his Georgia's offense, they just can't put the ball in his hands all the time. Nice 5-yard gain here as Chris Schelling makes the tackle. Garrison Hurst will break one before the day's over. He's really a lot like a Walter Payton type runner.
A little bit of everything in his package. Second down and 6. They give it to Harvey this time, and he'll be lucky to gain 1 yard on that one. Frank Harvey, a load at 243 pounds from Dawson, Georgia. Had a big play against Florida 2 weeks ago. He busted his first carry 80 yards for a touchdown. That time he had about 79 less.
A little different this time around.
Yeah.
Maybe Frank Harvey realized he wasn't 80 yards away, and he didn't want to do it on this play. Good defense by Auburn.
Third down and 4 now for the Bulldogs. Hurst bounces it outside and cuts it up and has the first down. Garrison Hurst down to the 7. His feet, John, are so quick. That's what really amazes me about him.
Two things about great running backs that are just clear across the board, and that is great feet and great vision. On this play, Garrison Hurst starts out to his left. The hole is designed to go to its left. He cuts it back because he sees the openings and he has the speed to get there. That's what he did on that play to get a first down. 4 rushes for Hurst so far in the afternoon for a total of 18 yards. Picked up a good block by Brian Bohannon on that last carry. First down and goal. The man tackled at the 4.5-yard line. A host of Auburn Tigers there to greet him. Well, Garrison Hurst coming off a subpar performance. Only had 41 yards 2 weeks ago against Florida. He'll be looking to up that a bit. But look at the number of 100-yard or more games. 11 in the last 13. Makes coaching easier for that guy. Second and goal for Georgia. Split backs. Hastings to the bottom of your screen. It's Hurst down to the 2-yard line and tackled by James Willis. So they've gone to Hurst twice now, John. What do you like on third down? Well, it's about third down and about 2 yards. Here at Hurst, you can see again, there's guard pulls in front of him, and he cuts it back, which he does so well so often. That was Paul Taylor, number 52, pulling for him. On 3rd and 2, this is a run or pass area. They're in I formation. They may just try and roll out, see what they can do to Hastings on the left side.
2 tight ends in. It's Hurst again, 3 times. Is it lucky? No signal as of yet, and I don't think he got in. And the crowd voices its appreciation for the defensive unit.
Ray Goff has a decision. He's pretty close here. He got the control of the football via a turnover, and I think he's going to make a decision and call a timeout whether he wants to go for it on 4th down. It's going to be about a half a yard, Mark.
As we look at the replay, the tackle made by Damon Primus that time. It's been tough sledding, though, inside the 10-yard line since they got that first down. We're going to take a short break. Please, come on back.
When we set out to design the new Geo Prism, the possibilities were endless. Then, step by step, we built a car that's as well thought out as it is well engineered. Once you see the end result, we think you'll agree. It all came together beautifully. Get to know the newest Geo Prism at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
Our team project was tough. The deadline was tougher.
Only one digital color printer prints in black and white and color at the same time to save time. Intelligent color for any document, only from Xerox.
Putting it together. Our spring fashions are terrific. Now let's get them noticed.
Highlight your news with Xerox color and you'll get everyone's attention faster. Intelligent color for any document, only from Xerox.
Putting it together. Stranded once, never again.
Look, there's a reason more people go to Sears for a new battery than anywhere else.
Face another winner without a diehard? No way.
Only Sears has the diehard. In tests for cold cracking starting power, diehard performed 3 times better than industry standards.
Out here, if you don't have a diehard, you don't have a prayer.
You can count on me.
Sears diehard. More power when you need it most.
Where's the hottest comedy and Christopher Williams? Uptown Comedy Club!
Be there. Uptown Comedy Club, Saturday at 10:30 on Channel 6.
Well, it was Hurst up the middle, Hurst left, and Hurst right. It got you 4th down and 1 if you rake off, and they're going for it.
I think you have to go back to Hurst on this play. Let Frank Harvey be a lead blocker.
They line up in the eye. Hastings is split wide to the bottom of your screen. 2 tight ends in. It's Hurst. Touchdown Bulldogs, and he fumbles it. But it's a touchdown. The signal came first.
What a great run by Garrison Hurst. Frank Harvey was the lead blocker, and he completely whiffed on number 51, James Willis. But Garrison Hurst had the presence of mind to bow it out a little wider and find the seam and break it up in there. That's what makes him a Heisman Trophy candidate and possible winner in a couple of weeks.
Garrison Hurst with his 16th rushing touchdown as Todd Peterson adds the extra point to make it 7-0 for Georgia. So the Bulldogs capitalize on that Auburn fumble at midfield and drive the ball down the field to lead 7-0. A must-win situation for the Dogs, and so far they look good. Come on back.
Affordable Canon CJ10. The power of color is yours.
The more you take away from this Chevy Cavalier VL, the more it resembles the Honda Civic DX. Take away Cavalier's anti-lock brakes, base coat clear coat paint. Take away its 2-sided galvanized steel, automatic door locks, Scotchgard treated seats, and toll-free 24-hour roadside assistance. But there's at least one thing you'd have to add. $1,500. The Chevy Cavalier. What else would you expect from the heartbeat of America?
When the Schultz's home was damaged, they saw how State Farm reacts.
Your State Farm agent and a State Farm claims representative go right to work for you.
We work together to avoid needless hassles and delays and speed your homeowner's claim. To help you get your life back to normal as soon as possible, our teamwork speeds your claim.
It's another reason State Farm insures more homes than anyone else.
State Farm is there.
CFA College Football is ABC Sports exclusive. Brought to you by Geo. Inviting you to get to know the newest Geo Prism, only at your Chevrolet Geo dealers. By McDonald's. What you want is what you get, guaranteed at McDonald's today. By UPS, for reliable on-time delivery throughout Europe and around the world, you can trust UPS. And by the U.S. Army. Learn how to get an edge on life. Be all you can be. We're back at Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn, Alabama. The score is 7-0. Georgia over Auburn after that touchdown run by Garrison Hurst. He carried the ball 8 of 12 plays on that drive, working overtime.
And that's one of the things that Georgia really wants to do. They didn't do it that much against Florida, and I think offensive coordinator Wayne McDuffie thought about it and said, I got to get the ball into my big play guys. That's Andre Hastings and, of course, Garrison Hurst. We saw that on that drive there.
Sure did. A lot of it. Here's the kickoff from Peterson. Back deep is Bailey, and he won't get a chance to return this. So the Tigers will start off on their own 20-yard line. And Stan White comes in for the team's second possession of the ball game.
Saw Stan White getting a play from the sidelines. They're relayed from the press box by Tommy Bowden, who's up in the booth. He calls the play, relays it to the sidelines, and then, of course, Stan White takes it in. 27 touchdowns, 41 interceptions.
Bostic and Richardson line up in the I. 3 wide receivers now for Auburn. Here's Bostic. He got over the 25. Nice-looking run down to the 27-yard line. And there's a guy we talked about in the opening, John, who has really come to the forefront in the last few weeks.
He has. In the last 3 games, he's had 461 yards. And he's the leader of this offense right now. He got 5 yards there, and it really didn't look like a 5-yard game, but he also has explosive speed.
They have used a lot of different tailbacks this year, and they may have found their man right now. Here he is again. Falls forward, and he'll be about 1.5 yards short of the first down. The tackle was made by the nose guard, Casey Barnum, 6'3", 265-pound senior from Jacksonville, Florida.
Auburn is very happy just letting Bostic carry the football. He is going to be a good tailback in the long line of good tailbacks at Auburn. Joe Cribbs, James Brooks, and one guy by the name of Bo Jackson, who had his number retired here in the last game against Arkansas.
And Bo says he's going to be back playing baseball in spring training. 3 tight ends in now on 3rd down and short. Bostic again, and I don't think he made it. A lot of it will depend on the spot of the football.
Well, they won't have to measure this, Mark. The nose of the ball just has to be to the 30-yard line.
What do you think? You think it's too early to go for it?
Yeah, I certainly do, especially after turning the ball over once.
The tackle on the play made by Greg Tremble. Was able to stop the surge on the left side of the line.
Well, when a free safety can bang up a big old tailback like that, that's a great tackle.
Terry Daniel now into punt. And Andre Hastings is standing on his own 30-yard line. This is a low returnable kick. A low short punt. It stops dead at the 40-yard line. A 31-yard boot and nothing on the return.
You ran out of gas. You locked your keys in your car. You locked your dog in your car. You locked your keys and your dog in the car.
Introducing the new Geo Prism with 24-hour roadside assistance on a car so well engineered you may never need it.
You got lost and needed directions.
So get to know the newest Geo Prism at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
And it's raining.
Can a razor cut your beard below the skin without the blades touching your face? It can if it's a Norelco, because inside the floating heads, our lift and cut system lifts the hair so when it's cut, it can drop below skin level without the blades touching your face. Are you shaving this incredibly close and comfortable? You are when you shave with Norelco. Norelco, we make close comfortable. Nothing outperforms your phone. So make the call before you make the drive.
Back at Jordan-Hare Stadium, the score is 7-0. The Bulldogs with their second possession of the ball game. On the first drive, Zire was 3 of 3 for 24 yards, and Garrison Hurst did the rest. Here he is again. The Heisman hopeful over the 40, stacked up at the 41-yard line. Anthony Harris led the charge.
Well, Garrison Hurst really needs a big game today. A lot of people feel, since he only had 40-some yards against Florida rushing. And I know Auburn doesn't want to give somebody a Heisman Trophy here, especially somebody from Georgia. So they are going to play him tough all afternoon.
That's almost sacrilegious. Second down and 9. Gain of 1 on first down. There's Hastings going in motion. Zire, little curl pattern, tried to find Hastings, but he threw him a nice bounce pass. Actually, that was Hassan Graham. Well, next Saturday, it's another action-packed doubleheader on ABC's college football. At 12 noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. The third-ranked Michigan Wolverines head to Columbus for a classic Big Ten showdown with the Buckeyes of Ohio State. Regional action follows as the #1 Miami Hurricanes take on Syracuse, #6 Washington against Washington State. Plus other games. Check local listings for the game and starting times in your area. Third down and 9. Play action. Complete to Hastings. And he may have lost the first down, John, by trying to get more yardage.
You're absolutely right, Mark. When he caught that football, I don't know if he knew he was right on the yard marker, which would have given him a first down. So Hastings stepped back and tried to make a big play, and in that process, actually forfeited about 2 yards.
Chris Schelling was there to pounce on him and push him backwards as we take another look at it.
Okay, watch Andre Hastings. He works himself into a curl area. Zire hits right there. He lunge forward. He has a first down. He steps back, tries to create some more yardage. Doesn't get the first.
And a nice punt here that lands on the goal line and bounces through the end zone. Scott Armstrong, strong leg, 52-yard punt. No return.
That's tough for a receiver to know exactly where he is on the field. He knows that he's set up, and Andre Hastings was right there at the 50-yard line for a first down. But hey, I mean, he's a big play player. And he's the kind of guy who says, well, I can break a tackle and make something bigger here.
It's almost instinctive. I mean, sure, you're cognizant of the first down marker, but still you want to get more yardage.
That's exactly right. Now, as a tight end, as a former tight end, I used to always lunge forward because I didn't want to be embarrassed running in the open field. But a guy like Hastings is going to break a lot of those. He's one of that members of the 50-yard club.
Big play offense. Now it is Auburn's turn on 1st and 10. 2 tight ends in. Play action to Bostic. Flags on the play. The pass is complete.
Sean Malone.
Sideline to Malone. The tight end, 6'5", just a freshman. 3 freshmen out of that position to pick up a 15 yards on that play.
Auburn has 3 freshmen starting at tight end. There's play action pass. That sets up the tight end in the flat. There's Sean Malone, a big target. Pat Dye kidded him the other day and said, if you drop any more passes in practice, I'm moving you to tackle next year. That's the curse for a tight end. We'll see what the penalty is.
John, we'll see a lot of that formation from this Auburn team today.
That we will. They want to set up in a 2 tight end offense, 1 back, and they'd like to attack Carlo Butler. Well, he's the smaller of the outside linebackers, and they feel like they get a size mismatch with their tight end. I didn't pick up the penalty, Mark. I don't know if you did, but it's 1st and 15 now.
Alex Smith now checks in. He's the tailback. And he takes the handoff from Stan White. He got back about 4 of the 5-yard penalty. He'll set up 2nd down and long. The tackle by Mitch Davis, 6'3", 237-pound junior.
And that's the mismatch we talked about with 3 freshmen down. You know, Fred Baxter, who was projected to be a #1 draft choice for Auburn this year at the tight end position, is out for the year, and you have 3 freshmen. And Pat Dye is worried about Mitch Davis and the matchup against his 3 freshmen. There he won that matchup.
The 2nd down and 12. White scrambling. Now that's what you call wise career planning, John. He ran out of bounds at the 16-yard line.
There's a lot of safety in that boundary for a quarterback. They have to not only get to the boundary, they have to get out of the boundary because guys will always nip at their heels.
Well, at the conclusion of today's game, we'll be selecting a Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the Game from each team. And for the 22nd year, through the Chevrolet Scholarship Program, $1,000 will be donated to the General Scholarship Fund of each school.
Casey Barnum limped off on that particular play. We have 3rd and 14. This is a situation Auburn cannot stay in much today if they want to win.
They send in 4 wide receivers, and Stan White goes down at the 12. The first sack of the afternoon for this dog defense, Travis Jones, with his 4th sack of the season.
That was just a coverage sack more than anything else. Travis Jones comes from the inside and is able to beat the center on that play. I believe it was Greg Thompson. And I looked downfield to watch coverage there. 4 wide receivers were streaking downfield, but they were all covered very well.
So that means that Auburn will have to punt. Andre Hastings standing at the 46-yard line of Auburn. Daniel's first punt went for only 37, but this one is much better. Drives Hastings back to the 42. A flag down as Hastings with a nice juke at midfield to gain some more yardage. A 48-yard punt and 9 yards on the return, although they ran a lot more.
Yeah, they're going to call a clip or a push in the back on that play. I believe it was Rodney McCoy pushed an Auburn player in the back and got caught, so they'll be bringing this back.
That's exactly what it is, John. You know, we see so much of that during this college football season. Why is that?
Well, first of all, they changed the rule. I mean, they have the push in the back now versus
we have
the
an
clip.
illegal block in the back on the return team. Be 10-yard penalty. Your first down.
The other thing is it's really hard as a punt return player to block because you never know. You saw Hastings jiggle and jaggle there, and you never know what angle you have to take on the defender who's coming down and covering the punt. And as a result of that, you think you're hitting a guy, but all of a sudden he shifts. This could be on the left. So you'll see it on the left side here. Actually, I don't think you will see it. It's a little further out. That player who went down right there was clipped. Actually, that was Andre Miller there who got clipped. So it's a tough block.
Harvey and Hurst line up in the eye. The handoff is to Garrison Hurst, and a nice play that time by Quick Willis. Second tackle of the afternoon for him.
James Willis really gets after it. 17 times in his career, he's had 10 or more tackle games. So he really can start to pile up the tackles. And you know, the Georgia staff was a little worried about the mismatch in that interior line and linebacking position. They feel like their centers and guards are the weaker players on their offensive line. And Auburn seems to be taking advantage of that.
And of course, they're banged up on the offensive line as well. Alec Millen, their starting tackle, did not start this afternoon. As Zier passes here on 2nd down, and he passes up an opportunity to make yardage, and he's down at the 32. Tackled by Chucky Johnson and Randy Hart.
Great coverage by Fred Smith, the cornerback. You won't see the coverage, but what you see is Zier really having a little more time than he thinks he has. Then he starts to find a place to scramble and go down. Quarterbacks have to learn to stand tall in the pocket. That's why you'll see Georgia like to get Zier out in the perimeter to throw on the run. Then he has vision in front of him. But in the pocket there, it seemed to me like he had a little bit of happy feet syndrome, which is not good for a quarterback.
And credit to Auburn, it seems like they've gotten good pressure on him so far this afternoon. Play action, Zier throws it to the sideline to Hastings, but it's ruled incomplete and out of bounds. So a big stand by the Auburn defense.
And Auburn should enjoy their best field position of the first quarter after this punt. But did you see there how Zier was out of the pocket? I think he's a little more comfortable in that element. He has to learn, and he's a guy that's very hard on himself. He really wants to learn every aspect of the offense. Puts a lot of pressure on himself, and he's got to learn to stand tall in that pocket.
And the coaches say he's been pressing just a little bit in the last few games. Here's the punt by Armstrong with 5 seconds to go in the first quarter. Bailey on the 25 and a fair catch. And the clock runs out. The first quarter ends. Georgia 7, Auburn nothing. The Tigers with the ball when we start the second quarter.
Did you tell your boss you're quitting? No, I'm telling him on Monday.
Got any plans yet?
Few?
No celebrity spokesman.
I'm opening a restaurant.
No beach volleyball games.
How about another Heineken?
No lengthy description of the brewing process. None of that is what made Heineken the #1 imported beer in America.
You got that steady paycheck? Oh, yeah. I got a few bucks put away.
So you want to own a restaurant?
No, what I really want to do is be a relief pitcher.
McDonald's knows that in today's economy, taking a family to dinner is harder than ever. But now the Big Mac Extra Value Meal is only $2.99. And the Hamburger Happy Meal is value priced. So at McDonald's, it's easy to feed any size family.
Well, Mother, this is really something. Was it all worth it?
A meal like this for only $2.99? You bet.
Something about what you want is what you get at McDonald's tonight.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lisa. Happy birthday to you.
Like a
I got an '88 Chevrolet Silverado with 304,000 miles. I drive it to work 125 miles one way to work, 304,000 miles, still rolling.
This is a 1986 Chevrolet Scottsdale. The truck has now 577,000 miles on it. It always gives me my dollar when I needed my dollar.
Chevrolet, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Keep tires on it, keep gas in it, it'll go.
Did you ever wonder why young men want to play college football? It requires hours of hard work, discipline, and tough physical demands. A College Football Association survey finds that 90% play the game because they enjoy it. And 96% also believe that a college degree is important. Remember when you watch college football that the players are tackling an education as well as a game.
America wins with college football.
We are back at Jordan-Hare Stadium. I'm Mark Jones along with John Spagnola. It's first down and 10 for Auburn. The ball on their own 25-yard line. White on the waggle, complete to Richardson. And Richardson has the first down and then some. Pushed out of bounds at the 42-yard line. A pickup of 16 yards for the fullback.
This is a play we're seeing everywhere now in college football and in pro football for that matter. Richardson is able to sneak into the flat off the play action. You'll see the fullback. Now the play action goes away, and Richardson is out in the left flat. The tight end is over the top of him. And Stan White has a choice to throw deep or throw short to Richardson. He's able to break a tackle there and get a first down for Auburn. Nice play.
Then White, 1 of 2, 16 yards. First completion of the day. This time he hands it off to Bostic. And Bostic is tackled at the 44-yard line. And, John, that last time on the waggle, we saw them come towards Mitch Davis's side of the field, which is kind of interesting, considering they talked about going away from him.
Well, that's right. One of the things you want is if you have a stout guy like Mitch Davis, you want to get him into pass protection. If you have a smaller guy who's the other outside linebacker, and Carlo Butler, he's a guy you want to attack in the running game. And on that last running play, they attacked Carlo Butler. That's part of the Auburn offensive plan this afternoon.
Second down and 8. The inside handoff to Bostic, and he's up to the 48-yard line. He got about 2.5 or 3. Right now, let's go back to New York for this update from John Saunders. John?
Mark, Syracuse and Boston College in the Big East, and Syracuse strikes first. Marvin Graves on the option, thinks pass, and then spots an opening. Gets it to the end zone, 3 yards on the run. 7-0. Syracuse with the lead. Mark.
Starvin Marvin Graves with the touchdown.
They're worried about Syracuse looking past this game to, of course, to Miami next week, and they're worried about Boston College thinking too much about last week's loss to Notre Dame.
4 wide receivers in for the Tigers on 3rd and 4. White incomplete. He tried to hit Thomas Bailey, but threw it low and too far ahead of him.
Georgia plays a lot of man under coverages, and this is one of those plays where White was trying to get the ball to Bailey on an underneath route, trying to get him to break a tackle and go upfield. Terry Daniel on terrific coverage there.
He actually had a lot of time to throw the ball, Stan White.
That he did. That's a pass that should be completed. It was very good coverage, but still you can stick that in there, and Stan White probably should have.
Daniel to punt, standing on the 33. And Hastings standing on his own 15. A high spiral that drives Hastings a yard deep. Now, it may be a safety.
This is the second time today Andre Hastings didn't know where he was on the field.
And it wasn't a safety. He almost caught it on the 1-yard line. It was close. Chris Schelling was there to make the tackle, but Hastings really took a chance on that, John.
That he did.
And Pat Dye is hotter than the new Madonna book. Look at him. He's steamed.
Well, the referees are ruling a ball in the end zone is a down punt. It's a touchback. It goes to the 20-yard line. Pat Dye obviously disagrees.
We're going to take a break and be back in a second.
In 1993, you'll have over 500 new car models to choose from, and you can be pretty sure that most of them will cost more than they did last year. But this one won't. The Lumina Euro Sedan from Chevrolet. You'll find the features you're looking for, but you won't find a higher number on the sticker. This year's Lumina, last year's prices. Pretty ingenious, huh? What else would you expect from the heartbeat of America?
In Europe, things happen on time, right on schedule. Punctuality is the norm, and that makes Europe the ideal environment for UPS. Fact is, UPS has built the most comprehensive delivery network in Europe. So when you have a shipment going there that has to be on time, use the delivery company whose punctuality is a time-honored tradition. UPS. We run the tightest ship in Europe.
This is Pioneer Home Theater, with Laserdisc images 60% sharper than most VCRs, the world's leading AV receivers, speakers customized for home theater, and a big screen picture that's real as life. From the leaders in audio and video, home theater so advanced, you don't just watch it.
The tradition, the rivalry. For the classic showdown, the best is here.
A little controversy on the previous play right there. Andre Hastings is in the end zone. That's what the officials have ruled. Ball is a touchback.
Good call by the official on that play. Garrison Hurst on 1st and 10. And he lost about 2 yards. Pushed out of bounds by Chris Schelling from his strong safety position, who came up to make the play.
A good call, but I think the Tiger faithful would disagree with you on that one, Mark.
Well,
they're not very happy right now.
They don't have the benefit of replay.
I think even with the benefit of the replay, they disagree.
Loss of 3 on 1st down. 2nd down and 13. Play action. Zier complete to the tight end, Shannon Mitchell, 6'3", 242-pound junior. With his 16th reception of the year.
This is where Zier's getting very comfortable with the offense, and that is picking out secondary receivers. He wanted to go to Hastings on that play. Mitchell was his second receiver. He found him, and they got a 1st down.
Well, coming up on Monday Night Football, it's a big AFC East Division battle. Dan Marino and the Miami Dolphins against Jim Kelly and the Buffalo Bills for the division lead. Live 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. Monday Night Football on ABC. 1st down and 10 after the reception by the tight end. Here's Harvey. And a nice defensive play that time by Calvin Jackson, who came up from his cornerback spot to force the play, and Damon Primus.
Calvin Jackson, just a rookie, I should say just a freshman at 5'10", 160 pounds, but he really run for us there. When you can get a cornerback that can run for us, they recognize this play. Garrison Hurst will be a lead blocker on this play. But look at Calvin Jackson just get right through there and make the tackle. And you love to see that out of your corners. They like to pass cover, but they have to be able to run for us, too.
Real men, huh?
Real men.
Hastings in motion, and it comes this way to Andre Hastings. Put a nice move on the DB and made it out to the 32-yard line. Anthony Harrison Schelling eventually made the stop.
This is the second quick screen we've seen to Hastings this afternoon. The first one was a quick screen in the middle. The second one here where Hastings is on the outside, and he gets a block from the other wide receiver, who's actually the lead blocker, Brian Brohannon. Picks up some nice yardage for Georgia.
John, that play is really vogue right now. A lot of teams seem to be using that flanker screen.
They are. It's a mismatch. When you got a guy like Hastings, these guys can break tackles for Georgia. They break one tackle and they can often score.
Third down, 10 to go. Play action. Zier going up top to Hastings. And it's ruled complete. What a grab by Andre Hastings. Down to the 35-yard line and a pickup of 35 yards.
What a remarkable catch. I mean, he was splattered by Clarence Morton, the free safety. See Hastings working one-on-one. He gets by the cornerback. Now watch Clarence Morton, 13, come over as a battle for a football collision, and Hastings wins.
John, I'm not sure. He almost got away with a push-off here. Take a look at it with the off arm.
He may have a little bit, but the key there is the free safety, and he collide and battle for the football, and Hastings comes up with it. What a terrific catch by Andre Hastings.
Big play, Andre. The back's in the offset eye this time. Here's Hurst. Skates his way up to the 30-yard line, and he's run out of bounds.
How about our conversation yesterday with Wayne Hall, the defensive coordinator for Auburn? He talked to us and said, you know, Hurst is 6 inches from the sidelines, and then all of a sudden he bursts upfield and gets 20 yards, and that's what he did on that play. He run him into the short side of the field. You think the boundary's going to make the tackle, but he has such great balance that he can explode and pick up 8 yards on that play.
And that's close to his per carry average. Came into the ball game averaging 7.7 a pop. Second down and 2. Harvey and Hurst in the backfield. Garrison Hurst with the first down and then some, down to the 21. Lowers his hat and gets the first down. Let's take a look at the first quarter statistics. First quarter in which that one turnover, John, for Auburn really jumps out at you. It was the turnover that led to Georgia's first score.
And you also see a balanced Georgia attack. You see no balance in the Auburn attack. They ran the football, but they didn't have a single yard passing. Turnovers, that is not the way for Auburn to win today. They want a ball control, but they can't turn the ball over. And Georgia, of course, is driving again now.
Driving is something that they haven't done a lot of this year. They score with the big play. The handoff is to Harvey. Harvey dancing his way over the 15 down to the 13-yard line. Frank Harvey, John, he's a load at 243 pounds, but he moves well.
What balance for a guy that size. Strong back, big legs. Last week he had the 80-yarder against Florida in his first carry. And he's a guy that is going to develop as a football player. He needs to improve his blocking, and I see him getting after it a little bit more today for Garrison Hurst. But he's a powerful runner.
243 pounds on your frame. That's a lot of blocking meat.
That certainly is.
Bohannon lined up to the short side of the field. There's Garrison Hurst up the middle. And Hurst was tripped up by number 13, Clarence Morton, or else it was 6 points. Schelling was also in the neighborhood.
This is another classic example of a great running back coming right at you. Garrison Hurst sees the openings. There's Willis, 51, trying to make the tackle. Good block by the center on him. Look at the open field cuts, though. Look how he sees where the opening is, tries to get it into the end zone. Of course, number 13, Clarence Morton, came up with the tackle, but it's first down and goal to go for Georgia.
They have moved the ball methodically downfield this afternoon. Out of the split back formation, here's Hurst. and he picked up 2 yards. He's down to the 3-yard line before he's tackled by Anthony Harris from his linebacking position.
Now, Mark, you talked earlier about a ball-controlled drive here, a time-consuming drive for Georgia, and you're right. They explode. They score from all over the football field, and this is uncharacteristic for them. As a matter of fact, despite the fact that they've scored so many points this year, they are a team that has actually been out-time of possession, if you will, 5 minutes per game. So they only have the ball an average of 27 minutes a game.
What was that saying about stats? Second down, here's Harvey up the middle. And Harvey made it down to the 1-yard line. You know, John, the head coach, the offensive coordinator, Wayne McDuffie, were both concerned about their offensive line, which was beat up. So far, how does it appear to be going in the trenches?
So far, I would say that it's pretty much even. I can't say that either side has outplayed the other. We've seen James Willis do a lot of flashing. I mean, the key right now in this drive is the big play and the big catch by Andre Hastings. But this Auburn defense is going to wear down as time goes on, particularly if Georgia can ball control the way they have.
2 tight ends in. Hurst, the deep back in the eye. That's Harvey trying to go over top. And no signal, no touchdown.
And we're going to be left with another 4th and goal. I'm sure that Ray Goff is probably going to go the same route he did in the first quarter.
Whitehead and Willis were in on that tackle as Frank Harvey went airborne.
Harvey at 240 pounds. I think with that kind of frame and that kind of size, he's better served going low, using his power. I don't think we're going to start coining the phrase Air Harvey very soon.
Well, the turbojet didn't kick in on that play.
No, good penetration by the Auburn defense, though.
4th and goal, 2 tight ends. No way. The defense holds.
That's surprising that Georgia would try the second play. Garrison Hurst is the guy you should go to. He's been in the end zone 17 times this year. And that ball does not get over the end zone. It's a great play by the Auburn defense. Penetration, the linebackers met him up high. And Auburn takes over on their 1-inch line.
Willis, a name we've heard a lot of this afternoon, and Randy Hart led the charge of defenders. 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. They make a little room for themselves on 1st down. That was Bostic. Gained close to 2 yards. What a stand by that Auburn defense.
Well, for Georgia right now, if they can get in a situation where they can force Auburn to punt, they should get the ball in great field position. Obviously, Auburn is going to try and punch it out, maybe take a chance with a pass play here. They don't want to spend a lot of time in the end zone. They don't want to let a waggle or anything, but they have 2 tight ends right now, which is formation they run this from.
Just a 1-back set. 6:25 remaining in the second quarter. Run it out to the 4-yard line. Bostic again. Well, tomorrow night on ABC, all new episodes of America's Funniest Home Videos and America's Funniest People begin an hour earlier at 6 Central. Then the television event of the year, a look inside music's most mysterious family, the Jackson 5. Tomorrow, the Jacksons on ABC.
Mark, that kind of looked like you on the dance floor there.
Well, it was one of their songs, huh? The other MJ, the real thriller. Stan White out of the end zone. Looking up top and into the stands, into the net.
Well, he did a very smart thing right there. He had pressure on him. It would have been a 2-point safety against Auburn. He got rid of the football. Nobody was open. What he didn't want to do there, and Stan White is throw an interception or turn the ball over or give up points. So Auburn has to stand. Now they try and punt themselves into decent field position and see if the defense can hold again.
Good pressure that time coming from Mitch Davis. As Daniel is standing 9 yards deep. 3 punts so far, averaging 42 yards per punt this afternoon. His longest was 48. It's off a decent but returnable kick at midfield. Hastings fumbles it. Hastings tackled back at the 44 by Chris Schelling.
Great punt by Daniel.
Got them out of a big hole.
Absolutely.
But Georgia still with good field position as they lead 7-0. We'll be back at Jordan-Hare Stadium after this.
If you want to move ahead in any career, you have to know what most employers want. Like how to work with a team, how to handle responsibility, how to take on a tough job and see it through. You can learn all these things in the Army. So when you do set off on the road to success, you'll already be in the driver's seat.
The new Geo Prism is designed to such exacting standards, it comes with a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty. It covers everything, bumper to bumper. There are no ifs, no ands, no buts, and no deductible. But the best news about Prism isn't its warranty. It's the fact that you may never need it. Get to know the newest Geo. Geo Prism at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
When your home is damaged, State Farm is there fast. You see, when you have a homeowner's insurance claim with State Farm, you report it to your agent. And right away, we team up with State Farm claims people.
We work with your agent to avoid needless hassles and delays so you can get your home back together as soon as possible.
Our teamwork speeds your claim. It's another reason why State Farm is such an outstanding homeowner's insurance value. State Farm is there.
It's flashback time as we turn the dial back to 1982. This traditional rivalry saw two of the best college football runners of all time, Herschel Walker and that man, Bo Jackson. Georgia won the game 19-14. Well, Pat Dye and the University of Auburn received their NCAA letter of inquiry November the 5th, and there's been trouble ever since. They have a minimum of 90 days to respond. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Nice defensive play by that Tiger defense. And Willis, again, the prominent player, tackled Garrison Hurst.
That's right, Mark. Great play by James Willis. But to continue discussion about Pat Dye, at least in one respect, the rumor and innuendo has ended. And now there are 9 specific allegations. The university has 3 months to respond to them. And at least at that point, the facts will be borne out. And the NCAA can choose to respond to it in any way they want to. If it's sanctions or penalties, they can do that.
Zire hands it off to Garrison Hurst, and Hurst is over midfield down to the 49-yard line. You know, we talked with head coach Pat Dye yesterday, and we'll let you know about some of his thoughts a little bit later in the show. But the most damaging of the infractions named was that there was a lack of institutional control, as well as the claim that head coach Pat Dye and assistant coaches knew about the illegal payments going to the players.
And how the NCAA rules on that will ultimately determine Pat Dye's fate.
3rd down and 7. Pardon me, 3rd down and 4. Zire going to Hastings, and it's picked off. Chris Schelling with the pick.
Hastings is getting a lot of double coverage all day. Earlier, the free safety, and he battled for the ball. That was Clarence Morton, but this time Chris Schellings comes across, makes a terrific interception. Actually, it wasn't Schellings. Yes, it was. Number 4, Chris Schellings, playing underneath as a strong safety, breaks on the football, makes a terrific play.
On 1st down, Stan White now completes it to Thomas Bailey, and Bailey is at the 48. 1st down, Tigers. The tackle by Chris Wilson.
Thomas Bailey's return to the Auburn lineup is really helping Stan White, too. He had a broken jaw and missed 2 games earlier in the season. Of course, whenever you have a broken jaw, you lose your strength. You can't eat right, so he's finally coming into his own, and he's certainly helping the Auburn offense.
It's tough to live on soup through a straw, isn't it?
Oh, God, it is.
Ted Yarbrough now in the backfield for Auburn. And he gets the carry. And he's tackled at the 49-yard line. Well, tomorrow, ABC Sports travels to the tropical paradise of Maui, Hawaii. Mike Stanley, the Masters champion, Fred Couples, and the PGA Tour's best shoot for the title in the final round of the Lincoln Mercury Kapalua International. Live coverage begins at 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central and Pacific tomorrow here on ABC. Second down and 9 for Auburn. White to pass. And he runs out of the pocket and out of bounds at the 47. Didn't really look like he had a man open there.
No, he did not, and he got out of bounds. He's chased by Randall Godfrey, number 42, the freshman who many people in Georgia think will, by his senior year, wind up to be the best linebacker in the history of the school. He has 4.5 speed. He's a 39.5-inch vertical jump. I think he has a 10.6 100-meter record, and just a fabulous athlete. You're finding more of these great athletes playing in the inside linebacker positions now, too, in college football.
And a lot of this game is about recruiting rights and recruiting boundaries. Bostic, lots of real estate. James Bostic. A pickup of 29 yards.
That play barely worked. Number 92 will flash in the screen after Bostic makes the catch there. And actually, Bostic is able to slip a tackle. He picks up some blocks downfield. And he's the big play guy. He's the horse for this Auburn offense. There he breaks some tackles on his own and is able to get deep into Georgia territory. And oh, how that turnover has turned things around.
This drive started deep in their own territory. Bostic now over the 20 down to the 19. Picked up 3 yards. Tackled by Casey Barnum, who was injured earlier and has now returned to the ballgame.
I wonder if Ray Goff now is starting to reconsider his decision. He could have gone up 10-0. Of course, it did get him 7 points earlier in the first quarter, but now with Auburn driving, saying, I'm sure he'd rather have the field goal and be up 10-0 at this point. But that's what our job is, to second guess these guys. Auburn on the move.
Second down and 8. Looks like he's checking off at the line of scrimmage. 3 wide receivers in. Into the end zone. And incomplete, intended for Orlando Parker. Parker, one of the real speed guys from the receiving position.
That he is, and he had a step on the defender on that play. That was Al Jackson in coverage, number 2. Stan White laid it up there, and that's a safe pass. Take a shot in the end zone. That pass can't be intercepted, or the only thing that bad can happen is an incompletion. Stan White used his head there, laid it up over the top. You've got a track guy running for it, and apparently Orlando Parker has now broken Bo Jackson's 60-yard indoor dash record here at Auburn, so he's the kind of guy who can run under a pass like that.
Looking to make some big plays like Bo. Stan White completes it. Back to Parker, and Parker could score. Pushed out of bounds at the 3.
That's a 17-yard gain for Parker, and that's a mismatch. Mike Jones, number 9, winds up covering Parker. Mike Jones is a strong safety. He shouldn't be isolated on a wide receiver one-on-one, and once Parker breaks the tackle, he's able to get down to the 4-yard line.
He's had some trouble holding on to some footballs this year, but that time he made a nice catch, John.
That he did. As a track player, it's often difficult to make that conversion into football, but he's doing it better and better. He's dropping balls, but he's also making big plays like he did just there.
We're going to take a short break with Auburn in scoring position. Stick around.
Way back before the Pathfinders, before the Explorers, even before the Cherokees, there was Blazer. Now the first sport utility vehicle of its kind offers you all this. And the performance of a 200 horsepower V6. You can spend thousands more on something else, but there's only one way to get the experience of a Chevy Blazer. The vehicle that originated the species.
America's future is taking shape in today's classrooms. Programs like Promise of Tomorrow, which encourage talented students associated with college football to pursue a teaching career. are helping to change America by changing education. A great teacher is a promise of tomorrow.
Hitachi is proud to sponsor the College Football Association. Hitachi's Promise of Tomorrow program gives teaching scholarships to all 67 CFA members.
Auburn University is proud this year to be celebrating the centennial of the admission of women and the beginning of football. The impact of Auburn football has been dramatic, from Coach John Heisman to Pat Sullivan to Bo Jackson and now Athletic Director Mike Lube. The spirit which women brought to the university lives on in alumni like novelist Ann Rivers Siddons and astronaut Catherine Thornton. In whatever their profession, Auburn alumni excel.
Yesterday it was the Burn the Bulldog Parade, held annually on the day before the game. Fraternities and sororities build floats made out of edible food and parade them from the Eagles cage to the drill field where the pep rally is held, and the floats are burned. 1st and 10. The full house backfield was set up, and Bostic on 1st and goal got down to the 1.5. The tackle made by Ledbetter.
Bostic in the middle of the T formation there. They had 3 backs in the backfield, 2 tight ends. They hand it off to him. That ball's getting kicked around a little bit. I don't think the officials noticed that. That ball was just kicked by a Georgia defender. They lost about a half a yard right now.
Full house backfield again, 2 tight ends, 2nd and goal. Bostic. Touchdown Auburn.
Great second effort there by Bostic on that play. I'm not sure. We'll watch the replay. I am not sure. He got an assist from Joe Frazier. Not necessarily legal, Mark.
That's right.
You can't help a running back out, and as Bostic was struggling on the goal line, he got an assist from Joe Frazier. We'll take a look at it after the extra point.
Hey, they'll take it any way they can get it, as they score the touchdown with 1:04 remaining in the first half of play. Etheridge with the extra point to knot the game at 7 apiece.
And oh, how this game has turned. Georgia knocking on the door. They can go up 14-0. They don't. Now Auburn ties it up at 7-all.
The Tigers still hoping to make it into the bowl picture. Tie the game at 7 apiece.
Just a hoot and a holler from Nashville's Grand Ole Opry is another place that's home to musicians from all over the world. It's Groon Guitars, where they sell rare and vintage instruments to everyone from Johnny Cash to Motley Crue. So if you go, remember, bring your pick and your Visa card. Because at Groon, you can take your licks on a 1939 Martin, but you can't take it home with American Express.
Yeah.
Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Some prefer, some prefer, everyone prefers.
Preferred stock cologne from Stetson. What preferred men prefer.
One of these engines was filled with Castrol Syntec, a new synthetic oil. The rest with conventional oils. They were then drained and started without oil to prove a point. You see, Syntec's unique molecular structure bonds to engine parts. Lab tests show it leaves a layer of protection far stronger than conventional oil. And if Syntec protects this well now, imagine if you leave it in. Castrol Syntec protects in ways other oils can't.
Red, irritated eyes can say things about you that aren't true. They can look worn out, upset, stressed out, even if you're not. Use Visine Extra. It cools, soothes, gets the red out. Look your best with Visine Extra.
We have a full house backfield. Good block by the tight end on the right side. Watch Joe Frazier, number 5. Help his running back get the ball in the end zone. That is illegal. Auburn got away with it.
He'll take the assist. Here's Hastings at the goal line. Hastings out to the 21-yard line with 57 seconds to go in the first half of play. Well, time permitting, stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental post-game report featuring scores and highlights from across the country, as well as the Prudential halftime report. John Saunders with scores and highlights from a very busy Saturday afternoon in college football, as well as an interview with Greg Hill, the great running back from Texas A&M. Their team winning on Thursday night against Houston. Still time to get into field goal position for Georgia. Here's Hurst. Hurst out to the 25, and the clock keeps moving. What do you do here, John, if you're Georgia?
I think what they wanted to do is burst Hurst through, try and get 10 yards or more, and get a little better field position, and then take some shots in field goal range. And I think they'll try and throw a pass here and get a first down. I mean, Zaire is a good quarterback. They have a good passing game. There's no reason why they shouldn't try some safe passes here toward the sideline to see if they can get field goal range.
Well, Hastings is split to the wide side of the field, and they hand it off to Harvey. Harvey out to the 37, and he got rocked. The clock stops with 14 seconds to play in the first half. Anthony Harris and Chris Schelling made the tackle.
Now, Georgia only has one timeout left, but now they're at the 37-yard line almost. But the clock is winding, and they're choosing not to use the timeouts. Well, there's actually no need to even run a play if they choose not to. And I don't think they will.
Now they're going to let it run out. And Pat Dye has to feel good about this first half of play. His defense really held at a crucial time.
Absolutely right. Ray Goff heading off the field with a 7-7 tie.
Halftime activities in a moment.
CFA College Football is ABC Sports exclusive, brought to you by Geo, inviting you to get to know the newest Geo Prism, only at your Chevrolet Geo dealers. And by Hitachi. Hitachi makes over 20,000 innovative products. We'll return with halftime activities after this message and a word from our ABC station.
Hitachi?
Wait, I know. They make
your favorite show.
Oh.
Hitachi makes big screen TVs and 20,000 other entertaining products. Hitachi.
Hitachi? They make, actually, I'm kind of busy right now working on a big project.
Hitachi makes computer systems and 20,000 other intelligent products. Hitachi.
For the battery that performs 3 times better than industry standards, you've got to get to Sears.
Oh, dear. If you don't have a Die-Hard, you don't have a prayer.
Sears Die-Hard, the battery you can count on for more power when you need it most.
If you want to go places in any career, ask yourself, can I perform under pressure? Can I be counted on to get the job done? You can learn how in the Army, so when you're ready to take off, you'll know you can go far.
The available anti-lock brakes on the new Geo Prism can help you negotiate driving hazards during hard braking. And every new Prism comes with a driver's side airbag, which we'd also be happy to demonstrate. But you've seen all that before. Besides, why ruin such a beautiful car? Get to know the newest Geo Prism, at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
In one more day, the television event of the year. The story you only thought you knew.
Michael, why don't you try your vocal with a little more attitude? Never seen anything like it.
A world premiere movie. The shocking look at music's most mysterious family, the Jacksons. Tomorrow at 8, 7 Central.
If you want a dependable, good-looking truck, and you want the best deal on the #1 selling trucks in Birmingham, then see a Birmingham Ford dealer now during Ford Truck Month, because you can save up to $2,400 on the Ford F-150. The F-150 is great for work, and with its roomy car-like interior and its sleek, hot-looking exterior, the F-150 is also perfect for play. But hurry, Ford Truck Month ends soon. See Adamson, Long Lewis, Ernest McCarty, or Jim Skinner Ford today.
Landing gear from Russell Athletic.
Also available for the entire family.
Auburn Football Review, Sunday at 1:30 on Channel 6.
Back at Jordan-Hare Stadium, Mark Jones along with John Spagnola in the house, and a 7-7 ball game at halftime. Georgia and Auburn deadlocked at a touchdown apiece. And John, I guess two of the keys so far in the first 30 minutes of play have been the two respective turnovers by each squad.
Well, we had a near blowout shaping up here when Georgia was knocking on the door, but Auburn was able to have a nice goal line stand. They punted the ball out beautifully, and then from that point, Chris Schelling made the interception and, of course, set up the Auburn offense. And at that point, the Auburn offense came alive, and we noticed in the first quarter that they had no yards passing. They were able to get about 77 yards passing exactly in the second half as Orlando Parker and Mike Bailey came to life. Now Auburn breathed new life into the Auburn offense, and this game's tied at 7-all. And we have a game that I think the forefathers 100 years ago would be very proud of right now.
Exactly. If they could only see what started at Piedmont Park in Atlanta and has led to Jordan-Hare Stadium here in Auburn, Alabama. Decision-making also very crucial on both sides of the field. Pat Dye getting good help from his defensive unit, and Ray Goff deciding to go for it on fourth down and being stopped.
I don't question the decision to go for it on fourth down by Ray Goff because it worked earlier in the game. What I question is having Frank Harvey run two plays over the weak part of the offensive line, the guards and centers, and not using Garrison Hurst in that situation.
We're going to send it back to New York as we have an exciting third quarter coming up in a few moments. Now back to New York and John Saunders.
From ABC Sports, the Prudential Halftime Report. Brought to you by Prudential. When it comes to insurance, real estate, and investments, there is one certainty. The financial strength of the Rock. The Prudential. Rock solid. From New York, John Saunders.
Welcome those of you watching the games in the Big Ten and the Southeastern Conference. We'll get back to the second half in just a moment, but first it's time for the Prudential Halftime Report, and we'll start off with the #1 team in the nation. They were off last week. Well, they probably could have taken this week off as well. They blow out Temple 48-0. Gino Torretta, well, his Heisman chances are getting even better. Torretta completes a 3-yard touchdown pass to Kevin Kirkheide. Miami with a 34-0 lead. Torretta for a Heisman campaign in full swing. Prior to that, though, a little humor. Torretta to Horace Copeland, who thinks he has a touchdown, gets up and does a flip. Officials, though, are saying no touchdown. So Keith Crispina, does a flip of his own. 9.5 on both of them. 48-0 is the final there. Gino Torretta, 16 of 23, 221 yards and 2 touchdowns before he came out of the game. 122 straight attempts without an interception, new Miami record. Illinois and Michigan. This was the exciting one of the day thus far. You saw it earlier here on ABC. How about 5 straight Big Ten championships? Well, Tyrone Wheatley says maybe not. Fumbles early. Jesse Johnson fumbles on his way to the goal line. And Elvis Gerbach's pass is dropped by Derek Alexander. Gary Moore had reason for concern. They had 4 turnovers early in the game. Fourth quarter, Illini takes the lead. Jesse Verduzco goes in, punches it across from a couple of yards out. Then Elvis Gerbach rallies Michigan, hooks up with Derek Alexander. Michigan approaches midfield, 2 minutes to go. Then they get conservative. Jesse Johnson under a minute for the 6-yard loss. Maybe Moeller's thinking about the Rose Bowl because this is all he needs for the ticket to the Rose Bowl. The 40-yard field goal ties the game at 22 apiece, and that's where it winds up. 22 each. Michigan's 19-game Big Ten win streak, though, is stopped. But Michigan headed to the Rose Bowl. Washington, if they win their last 2, they're in. Arizona does not control its own destiny. Washington State, if they win their last 2, they do control their own destiny. Washington underway right now against Oregon State. Mark Brunell with a 1-yard touchdown pass and has 1 rushing as well. They're blowing out Oregon State thus far. 24-0 is the score there. USC and Arizona. Some of you watching this here on ABC. 6-0. Estris Creighton with a 2-yard touchdown run for USC, missing the point after. Florida State, 139 points scored in their last 2 weeks. 69 last week, 70 this week as they blow out Tulane. The game's not over. It's in the fourth quarter, just about 1 minute to go. Nebraska loses to Iowa State. This is the same Nebraska team that blew out Colorado, blew out Kansas, and now Nebraska will still be headed to the Orange Bowl unless they lose to Oklahoma or Kansas State. Then the winner of Kansas-Colorado would go if they win their remaining games. Penn State and Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish, get a 2-point conversion from Jerome Bettis and win 17-16. Syracuse and Boston College, some of you watching this one here on ABC. Marvin Graves with a 3-yard touchdown run. Georgia and Auburn also tied 7-7, also an ABC game. Garrison Hurst has a 1-yard touchdown run there. Colorado and Kansas, I said the winner of this game could be headed to the Orange Bowl, depending what happens with Nebraska the rest of the way. Chip Hillary has run one in for Kansas. Ohio State and Indiana also here on ABC. 3-0 is the score. Tim Williams, a 24-yard field goal, is the only scoring of the game. Tennessee, Johnny Majors, one of his last few games, they're leading over Memphis State 20-14. We reported earlier today Johnny Majors has stepped down as the head coach of Tennessee after 16 years, basically was forced out, says he would still like to coach. Some other games we're watching tonight: Washington State and Stanford, Alabama and Mississippi State, and Hawaii and San Diego State. Let's take a look at the Kapalua leaderboard. Mike Stanley leading by a stroke. This is during a round 3. Tomorrow you can see final round action from Kapalua in Maui. Back with more on the Prudential Halftime Report in just a moment. But first, to listen to the Indiana Band, we'll look at some more scores from around the nation. Oh, excuse me, Salt Lake City. I didn't know Salt Lake City.
Constant change. There is one certainty: the financial strength of the Prudential, rock solid in securities, insurance, and real estate.
Add some of the nation's brightest students to one of the country's most talented teaching and research faculties. Mix well on a beautiful campus at the nation's oldest chartered land-grant institution. Then fold back the frontiers of knowledge. That's the formula for excellence at the University of Georgia.
In a world of sweeping changes, there is one certainty: the financial strength of the Prudential, rock solid in securities, insurance, and real estate.
Welcome back once again to New York in the Prudential Halftime Report. I'm John Saunders. Let's roll along with the scores and the highlights. Florida with a scare against South Carolina. Steve Tannehill, 4-0 as his starter, said he'd never lose the rest of this year, but he gets sacked here by Carlton Miles. And that finally gets the offense rolling for Florida. Shane Matthews comes on, gives to Eric Rett, back to Matthews, and he hits Jack Jackson. This sets up a Matthews 1-yard touchdown run. 7-3, Florida gets on the board. And then Matthews hooks up with Aubrey Hill. 36 yards this one covers as he hauls it in. He's open to the end zone for the touchdown. 14-9 as the final. Florida wins its 18th straight at Florida Field. So in the SEC, there's a tie atop the standings right now, but should it end that way, Florida would go to the SEC championship game because they beat the Dogs earlier this year. In the ACC, Duke and NC State. Spence Fisher had a tough day today, intercepted here by Damian Covington. He also fumbled one that ended up as a touchdown. 28 yards on this one as NC State rolls 45-27. Their defense has scored 5 touchdowns in the last 3 games. Brown, a loser to Dartmouth. Jay Fielder, 2 touchdown passes for Dartmouth there, 51-28. Columbia beats Cornell. That's 1-7 coming in, beating 7-1. Des Worthman, 16 tackles on defense, kicked 2-point afters, rushed for 2 touchdowns, scored a 2-point after, and recovered a fumble. He goes both ways. Princeton over Yale, 36-7. Keith Elias, 20 carries, 140 yards. So in the standings, Dartmouth and Princeton will meet next week for the Ivy League title. Southern Mississippi, a 1-point winner over Virginia Tech. This one, a surprise at the end as Lance Nations kicked a 22-yard field goal, their third win on a last-second field goal. Maryland blows out Clemson. Same team that blew out North Carolina a week ago was Clemson. Marcus Badgett, 2 touchdown passes, or catches rather, in that one. John Kaleo, 27 of 41, 418 yards and 5 touchdowns. That's a record. Mike Green with 3 field goals for Wake Forest as they beat Georgia Tech 23-10, their 6th win in a row. Michigan State all over Purdue 35-13. Craig Thomas, 15 carries, 127 yards and 2 touchdowns. Bowling Green and Ball State. Bowling Green ties a Mid-American Conference record with their 16th straight conference win. Now, on Thursday, the game was between Texas A&M and Houston, and Greg Hill had another terrific game. 3 touchdowns rushing, including this one where he scoots into the end zone, going to the left and then to the right. We spoke with Greg Hill earlier today, and we wondered if that undefeated A&M team felt they were getting no respect.
Well, it's not necessarily that we feel that we're not getting any respect. It's that, you know, we're playing hard every game and we're winning every game. But I understand that being in the top 5, that you need to win your games convincingly, and we've been winning, and for me that's fine to win. A win is a win, no matter how you put it. But you know, I guess we're not playing good enough for you guys to move us up in the polls.
But wait a second, I don't get to move you up. If I did, maybe I would. In the Heisman race, here's another thing that's very interesting to me. You're the fastest player ever to get to 2,000 yards in Southwest Conference history, yet we hear about Garrison Hurst, we hear about Marshall Falk and Gino Torretta. We don't hear that much about Greg Hill. Why do you feel that is?
Well, I'm not for sure, because I play hard every week, and I'm not worried about it. I'm just going out to play ball for my team, and those guys there, I love to watch Garrison Hurst and Marshall Falk on TV. So I can pretty much understand why, you know, everybody puts the focus on those guys, because those guys, every time they touch a ball, it's almost apparent that they can score a touchdown.
Very quickly, do you see a scenario where possibly Alabama loses, Michigan loses, and we have Texas A&M against Miami in the Cotton Bowl?
Oh, it's a possibility. You know, that's what I'm hoping for. I prayed about it last night after our game, and hopefully, you know, Jackie Sherrill will be out there playing for not only his team, but playing for the other Aggies that he has back in Texas.
Trying to help you guys out a little bit. All right, next week you have TCU. Good luck in that game. Thanks for joining us. Texas A&M still undefeated. We should remind you, coming up next week, another doubleheader here on ABC. We'll start it at noon Eastern time. Michigan and Ohio State, always a tremendous matchup. And then at 3:30 Eastern time, Miami and Syracuse in the Big East, Washington and Washington State in the Pac-10, Southwest Conference, or the Western Athletic. Back with more in just a moment.
Constant change, there is one certainty: the financial strength of the Prudential, rock solid in securities, insurance, and real estate.
Athletics has affected my life in positive ways. I think the concept of team can't be learned in any better way. I've seen a lot of guys who are good enough to get into college and thought they were good enough to get into pros, and so they weren't really concerned about their college education, and that's backfiring on them now. So I can't overemphasize how important your education is, and there's nothing like it.
This message provided by the NCAA.
That's all the time we have. Thanks for joining us on the Prudential Halftime Report. From New York, I'm John Saunders. Thanks for watching and enjoy the second half.
From ABC Sports, the Prudential Halftime Report has been brought to you by Prudential. When it comes to insurance, real estate, and investments, there is one certainty: the financial strength of the Rock. The Prudential, rock solid.
Well, maybe a bit of a surprise. Back at Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn, Alabama, the score is 7 apiece at the end of the first half, as both teams turned it over once, and both teams converted on those respective turnovers. Third quarter in just a minute.
It has 4 independent motors, an intricate steel frame, even an electronically regulated temperature control system. And that's just the driver's seat. The Lexus ES300 luxury sedan.
A Big Mac and a Diet Coke, please.
Get the extra value meal. It's only $2.99, plus you get fries.
We'll just have some of yours.
No, I order fries because I want fries. They're mine, not yours. If you want fries with dinner, get your own.
McDonald's Big Mac Extra Value Meal for just $2.99. That's right, $2.99 for a delicious Big Mac, medium Coke Classic, and, of course, a large order of our world-famous fries.
Mom, could I have some of my fries?
Thanks, honey. But I'll just have some of your father's.
No.
This man's incredibly close, comfortable shave comes from the Norelco razor. But to see how he got it, we must go back to when he began shaving. Not just above the skin, but below it. Here, our lift and cut system lifts the hair so when it's cut, it can drop below skin level without the blades touching your face. Try it, and you'll keep going back to Norelco for a perfect shave. Norelco, we make close, comfortable.
Visa salutes American Olympic champions. In 1976, 20-year-old Michael Spinks, the younger of the Fighting Spinks brothers, pounded his way to victory in the middleweight division.
Unbelievable. Now the kid in his one fight against Pasovich of Poland undid the pole with the right hand, and he is doing the same thing here with the veteran Kriskiev.
As part of their continued support of amateur athletics, Visa today is proud to donate another $1,000 to the U.S. Olympic team to support future Olympic hopefuls in their quest for the gold.
Just a hoot and a holler from Nashville's Grand Ole Opry is another place that's home to musicians from all over the world. It's Groon Guitars, where they sell rare and vintage instruments to everyone from Johnny Cash to Motley Crue. So if you go, remember, bring your pick and your Visa card. Because at Groon, you can take your licks on a 1939 Martin, but you can't take it home with American Express.
Yeah.
Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
CFA College Football is ABC Sports exclusive. Brought to you by Lexus Luxury Automobiles, the result of a relentless pursuit of perfection. And by new improved Head & Shoulders. Now it works even better to prevent flakes. I'm Mark Jones along with John Spagnola. We're back in the house getting set for the start of the third quarter. With the score deadlocked at 7-4. He's going to kick it off. And Brian Karkoska will be doing the honors. Back deep, Andre Hastings standing on his own goal line. And Garrison Hurst joins him on the left hash. This will be Hastings on the goal line. Up the middle. And he's out to the 23. And that's where Eric Zier will take over. Zier pretty good in the first half, but he did force that one pass in there too much. 7 of 9, 85 yards, and one critical interception, which led to an Auburn score.
That was his 11th interception of the year. He only had 4 all of last year. And for a sophomore quarterback, 11 interceptions is not too bad in your 10th game, but he set such a high standard last year as a freshman playing quarterback that some people are a little bit critical of his decision-making so far this year.
And also, I guess the element of surprise has disappeared as well.
That is usually the case. There's a delay on the field.
We have a malfunction with the clock. No time expired on the kickoff is what happened. So come to Auburn, Alabama, you will see time stand still, literally.
At least 10 seconds of it anyway.
You know, thinking about when this rivalry started back in 1892, the Georgia team took the old railroad and the passenger list read like an Athens Society column. T.W. Reed, C.M. Snellings, Sheriff J.W. Weir, and the fire captain, W.O. Farrar. A lot of old-timers on
I wonder what they used for a clock back then. Probably sand crystals.
Let's take a look at the statistics from halftime.
Well, the turnovers are even. The game's even at 7-all. The total yards is pretty close, and Auburn awakened in the second quarter with 77 yards passing. The screen play to James Bostic, of course, the big play. That was good for 30 yards. And That was a pretty nice drive by Auburn. They moved the ball around. They ran the ball effectively. They mixed the pass in nicely, and now the game is all tied at 7-all. We've got a terrific game in the 100th anniversary of this much storied series.
Now, what does Auburn do to maintain that productivity offensively?
Well, to them, the field position battle is very important, and I'm sure they'd like to see if they can get another turnover.
Well, they took 7 seconds off the clock, and it's 1st and 10, Georgia at the 23. Zier on play action. Has a lot of time and hits his receiver at the 31-yard line. That was Jeff Thomas with his first reception of the afternoon, and cool hand Eric with a nice pass there.
Well, Zier actually went all across the field. Hastings on the left side, Mitchell, the tight end, in the middle, came back to the short side of the field and found Jeff Thomas.
Eric Zier completing 57% of his passes coming into this contest. And Thomas now split to the top of your screen. That's Hastings going in motion. Garrison Hurst. Now there you see some of the toughness of Garrison Hurst, running it inside and up to the 37-yard line. Known for his speed, but he's a pretty strong guy too, John.
It was a great run, but it was even a better lead block by Frank Harvey on James Wills. Watch the fullback and watch the linebacker collide here. Harvey wins that battle, a nice lead block, and Garrison Hurst breaks it up into the middle for a first down. Now that's the kind of thing Harvey should have done, and honestly, that's the kind of play Georgia probably should have run on that 4th down play. Let Harvey block, let Harrison go over the top for the touchdown.
Hurst now 20 rushes for a total of 65 yards. Zier to pass, looking up top. That's Thomas, and it's out of bounds. Good coverage that time by Calvin Jackson, the freshman. Goes 5'10", 167 pounds. Stride for stride that time with Andre.
Well, a couple of 8s going after it there on the far sideline, and Thomas ran it out and up. Calvin Jackson saw it all the way and played it very well. And really good coverage by Calvin Jackson on that particular play.
You look at the secondary of Auburn, very, very young.
That is true. Clarence Morton started today. He's a senior, and he's been out for a couple of games. They have all sophomore and freshmen starting at corners and at the strong safety position.
2nd down and 10. Hurst in motion to the short side of the field.
Oh, they have Hurst.
Complete! And Hurst is going to take it in the house for a touchdown. 64 yards and a strike and a touchdown.
That is a play which Georgia ran earlier today, but they ran the football. And out of this particular play, Hurst goes in motion. Fred Smith is in coverage on him downfield. Hurst just runs it out and up. And the only guy who could make the play was number 6, Fred Smith. This was a great play for Georgia because they ran the same formation in motion earlier and ran the football. This time they threw off of it and paid a big dividend for him.
Peterson with the extra point, and John, Zier that time really appeared to look off the safety just long enough to hold him off.
That's exactly what happened on that play too. Zier deserves some credit for completing that pass as well.
So Georgia takes a 7-point lead. We'll take a break when you come back.
In my business, my hair has to look great. And even one flake of dandruff, even one, can wreck the whole thing. So I started using new Head & Shoulders. Yeah, Head & Shoulders is new. Now it gets to 10 times more of the places where dandruff starts. 10 times. No other shampoo has this formula. Even one flake is one too many for me. And new Head & Shoulders works harder at getting them. New Head & Shoulders, because great hair can't have flakes.
Make it clear. Make it colorful. Make it both. The DeskJet 550C. With DeskJet printers from Hewlett-Packard, it's easy to make it happen.
It's all right to sweat when we're working out, but when we're close,
Cute or not, if he smells, it's over.
Get a little closer with Arid, the anti-odor antiperspirant that helps keep you extra, extra dry.
I trust Arid.
Imagine for a moment a performance car. One with a 4-cam, 32-valve, 250 horsepower V8. Any names come to mind?
It's not just a matter of the division lead. It's a matter of revenge. The Buffalo Bills take on the Miami Dolphins live on ABC's Monday Night Football.
Well, Garrisonhurst always seems to attract crowds, even if it's its own teammates. He got a touchdown, and now he's only 2 touchdowns shy of Herschel Walker's single-season touchdown record.
Despite all the publicity he's received, he really gets along with his teammates well.
Peterson with the kick. That's Alex Smith. And Smith tripped up nicely at the 20-yard line that time by number 30, Will Muschamp. Backup free safety. So now it's the Tigers' turn. Starting quarterback Stan White has gone the distance. Led the team downfield nicely towards the end of the first half of play. And they cashed in with a touchdown. We're just underway here in the third quarter, 13:56 remaining, and it's 14-7. Bostic and Richardson line up for Auburn in the I. White, a strike to Bailey. Move the sticks, first down at the 36. A pickup of 15 yards, the tackle by Mike Jones.
Good pass protection, allowed Mike Bailey to run an in route. The linebackers are held by the play-action pass. He comes back across the middle. What I like about him is he really squared that pattern off. He didn't drift upfield. That can get a receiver in trouble. Nice reception by Thomas Bailey.
A soft spot over the middle there.
Well, when those linebackers step up, you'll have that.
First down. And they give us to Bostic. This time he's stripped up behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 36. Pat Dye has been under heavy fire, and we asked him a couple of days ago how he would like to see things resolved with the NCAA. Here's what he had to say.
I regret it ever happened. And, you know, that's about the extent that I can comment on it, really. It's not any fun. Hadn't been for our people, and certainly not for me and the players.
Well, they're going for big fun here downfield to the speedster, Orlando Parker, and it's incomplete. Mike Jones, the safety, came over for help.
Good coverage with Auburn taking a shot there. You know, Pat Dye is no stranger to this series. He played for Georgia. He was part of the 1959 team. He played offensive guard. And actually, Georgia was losing to Auburn last drive by Georgia. And there was a fumble on the play on the drive. Pat Dye recovered the fumble. Franz Harkington, who was the quarterback for Georgia at the time, led the team into the end zone. They won the game 14-13 and went on to play in the Orange Bowl. So a lot of these coaches have been through this series before.
Yeah, Ray Goff as well. The pass is complete this time to Orlando Parker at the 38-yard line. He's tackled right there by Al Jackson. So the Georgia defense holds 1-2-3 kick for Auburn. We talked about Pat Dye being a player in that series. Well, Ray Goff also played in this series.
That he did. He was quarterback, and they didn't even throw the football that day. He was the quarterback in a 28-0 win back in 1975.
Oh, boy. If I were him, I'd try and change those media guides. Doctor some of those statistics. Hastings driven back to the 90, fumbles. Terry Solomon put a big hit on Hastings, and he was very fortunate, John, to get that ball back.
That he was. Another terrific punt by Terry Daniel.
Georgia pinned deep when we come back.
Years ago, when we introduced the Lexus LS400s, it was hailed as nearly perfect. Our engineers took that as a challenge. Presenting the 1993 LS400, the pursuit continues.
Today,
a woman needs a life insurance plan of her own.
State Farm sells life insurance from an agent who's there for you today and there tomorrow, too. You see, we start you out right with a plan specifically designed for a woman's needs. One that protects the people who count on you for so very much. And the State Farm agent will be there tomorrow, too, as your life changes, to keep that plan working for the people you love.
State Farm sells life insurance.
For the battery that performs 3 times better than industry standards, you've got to get to Sears.
Oh, dear. If you don't have a Die-Hard, you don't have a prayer.
Sears Die-Hard, the battery you can count on for more power when you need it most.
Hitachi. Oh, wait, I should know what they make. I mean, I shop all the time.
Hitachi makes escalators and 20,000 other sophisticated products. Hitachi.
Here's Aubie, the Auburn mascot, setting fire to the first float at the Burn the Bulldog pep rally. The centennial celebration representing 100 years of football culminated the rally. Looks like the 4th of July. Well, I asked Pat Dye how the NCAA letter of inquiry has affected his team. And we'll tell you what he said after this play. Hurst out to the 9, where he's tackled by the linebacker Anthony Harris and Willie Whitehead, the left end.
Georgia in pretty tough field position because Andre Hastings, who has not made good decisions today returning punts, he almost had a safety. He missed one at midfield, fumbled out, and this one he dropped 2 and almost turned the ball over. Andre having his problems today punt returning.
Usually sure-handed, too. The toss to Hurst. Hurst trying to square those shoulders and turn the corner, but he was brutally roughed up and bounced out of bounds at the 11-yard line by Morton and Karakin Cunningham.
Actually, Cunningham is a very good outside linebacker. He's a senior on this unit. He's kind of the Renaissance man, too. You know, he's a pre-med student and plays the piano, and he's playing outstanding defense this year for Auburn.
Well, that defense needs a little medicine right now, John.
That's some music as well, right?
Yeah. Play a good song. But here's Eric Zier. Completes it to a wide open Paul Etheridge. And Etheridge has the first down at the 32-yard line. Man, was he open. A 20-yard pickup.
Paul Etheridge, a little used tight end, big target at 6'6", 240. Eric Zier, once again, we've seen him do this a couple times today, really scan the field, and when he has that extra time, he's able to find Etheridge out on the sideline. And there's basically a blown coverage or a coverage that loses its ability to cover because the quarterback has so much time.
Ball is spotted at the 31-yard line on 1st and 10. Hurst in motion. They toss it to Harvey. Cuts it back nicely, lowers his hat, and is out near another Georgia first down. So they're churning up real estate now on the ground. Schelling made the tackle. Well, tomorrow, the PGA Tour's best hit the links for the final round of the Lincoln Mercury Kapalua International. Live from Maui, Hawaii, tomorrow on ABC Sports.
Good blocking there from the offensive line for Harvey to get the first down, and Garrison Hurst in motion also made a nice block. I made a comparison to Hurst with Walter Payton earlier. It's because of his ability to block and catch the ball that makes him very comparable to Walter Payton.
Some running backs don't like to pay the price unless they're carrying the ball. Not the case with Hurst. Here's Harvey now out to the 46-yard line, tackled by James Willis, whose name we've said a lot this afternoon. That'll be a first down.
Good blocking by the offensive line up front. Jack Swan, the center, makes a nice block, is able to turn the nose in. Number 79 makes a nice block as well. That's Steve Roberts. And when you can get that kind of production up front, make first downs, it makes your offensive calling a lot easier. You get to be a lot smarter coach. Now this makes you a dumb coach. That's Alec Millen, who we thought was not going to play today because he had a knee problem, so he's sucking it up. And
illegal procedure on the line against the offense. Be 5 yards. Repeat the down.
The eyes of Alec Millen say it all. He is one of the more intense members of that squad. In fact, his coaches say he's a bit of a wild man.
Well, you know, in college, they don't call the number out, but on a play like that, they really don't need to.
They move it back 5 yards. First down and 15. Harvey and Hurst in the eye. This is Garrison Hurst trying to cut it back, and he'll lose 2 yards. Cunningham with the tackle along with Luster.
Good read by Cunningham again. He's a very hedgy player, not terribly big. But he's able to read that particular play, and Hurst is having his trouble today. The Auburn defense has done a pretty nice job containing him in the running game. Of course, he had the 64-yard reception for a touchdown, which is his career long, eclipsing a 63-yarder earlier this year.
Well, he catches it, and he runs it. And now they face second down and long, 18 to go. Hurst in motion to the short side. Zaire rocked and sacked at the 32.
Anthony Harris on the big hit. Zaire was looking for Hurst again. Hurst went in motion. He's forced upfield, and Harris is there. As soon as Zaire stepped up, it was all over.
Oh, man, he hit him like a search warrant. FBI style.
Never heard that one before. He was the most improved linebacker coming out of spring practice. Harris, boy, that's a linebacker's dream right there to be able to hit a quarterback like that.
Third and Montgomery to go. Here's Hurst. Garrison Hurst. A shoestring tackle at the 48-yard line, or else he may have gotten the first down. As it is, he falls 10 yards short. Clarence Morton with the tackle.
Morton saved the first down on that play. No question about it. At this point, Georgia doesn't want to turn the ball over. They don't want to force a situation where they turn the ball over throwing the football. But when you can give the guy like Hurst the football, fortunately Morton was there to make the play, and Georgia's forced to punt.
Well, Cunningham almost got away with what seemed to be a face mask infraction. Fair catch called at the 18-yard line by Thomas Bailey. We have 7:35 remaining in the third quarter of play. Break off against Pat Dye in this storied rivalry. Come on back.
On course 3. I'm out.
Diet Dr. Pepper, the taste you've been looking for.
This is the beginning of fully conditioned, great-looking hair. Head & Shoulders 2-in-1. You get complete conditioners with our proven dandruff shampoo all in one for what could be the end of flakes and the beginning of something great. Head & Shoulders 2-in-1.
Hitachi? They make, those little chips. They're in everything. They make things run. Hitachi makes semiconductors and 20,000 other memorable products. Hitachi.
Every sports sedan is supposed to do well in the fast lane. But what about these lanes? At Lexus, we've achieved extremely tight tolerances between all major body panels. So not only does the ES300 look like it's put together well, it actually is put together well.
And the Georgia Bulldogs needing a win today if they entertain hopes of playing in that SEC championship game on December the 5th. As it is, 1st and 10 for Auburn, and Bostic runs it around the right side and is down to the 18-yard line, tackled by Ledbetter. I don't think there's any question that Pat Dye is more than saddened by the allegations against his program, and I asked him if and when it has affected his team. Here's what he had to say about it.
Hard to say. You know, I haven't noticed any significant difference in their work habits on the field, and you know, it's been around so long now, till you know, I don't think it had that big an impact on it.
Bostic on this carry, and he's tackled back at the 22-yard line that time. Pardon me, the 17. Wallace and Godfrey in on that stop.
Big defensive surge by 2 plays in a row now by Georgia. They're going to force Auburn to throw the football here in a 3rd and long situation. Auburn wants to get back in this ball game. They're down by 7, and they're going to have to convert some first downs, or it'll start to get a little serious here pretty soon.
3rd down and 11. 6:22 remaining. White out of the backfield to Bostic, but far short of the first down. Do you like the call, John?
Actually, I do. It was a safe pass. But the question I always have is, why do they throw the backs out of the I formation? It takes so much longer for a back to get into the secondary out of the I formation. I'd rather see him throw out of a split back formation. And if that was the case, Bostic may have been able to get upfield a little farther and convert a first down. But that's what you see a lot in college football, and both teams do that.
Well, they end up 3 yards short of the first down. Terry Daniel into punt. Hastings, who's had trouble holding on to kickoffs as well as punts this afternoon, is on his own 30. A low, long line drive back to the 22. Hastings weaving a little magic out to the 40-yard line. A nice return of 18 yards after that 53-yard punt by Daniel. The tackle made by Terry Solomon, and that time Hastings held on to the ball.
He did. Well, that ball was almost like a pass. It was a low spiral that hit him right in the chest, and I think he's certainly concerned about the way he's been handling punts so far today. He really made sure of that one.
Now Florida finally stopped that juggernaut called South Carolina. Gamecocks losing for the first time in 5 games, 14-9.
People in Georgia were watching that one closely.
Extremely. The backs in the offset eye. Hastings in the slot. And that's Garrison Hurst. 1, 2, 3, 4 tackles were broken before he was brought down at the 47-yard line. The tackle by Tim Cromartie.
That's just terrific feet. There really wasn't a whole lot there. When you have a good running back with great feet, he's able to pick his feet up and get through the hole. There wasn't much of a hole there. He pretty much made that run entirely on his own. Give Cromartie credit for a defensive lineman to come back and make the tackle from the defensive line position. These Auburn players are hustling today.
Well, they've been relied upon a lot. They've been on the field a lot this afternoon. Garrison Hurst tackled by James Quick Willis. And a fumble. And now I think the officials are going to rule that Hurst was tackled at the 40.
Actually, it was Alonzo Etheridge, number 91, who made penetration and got through on that play mark. And a lot of people feel that was a fumble.
Yeah, about 80,000 of them. Huh?
Well, maybe just under 80,000. Alonzo Etheridge gets quick penetration there. Hurst tries to cut it back. Let's see if the ball comes out. His progress is stopped. That's not a fumble. Good no call by the officials.
3rd down and 7 now. Play action. Under pressure. Complete to Thomas. And Thomas has a Georgia first down at the 40-yard line. Pardon me, that's Hassan Graham. A pickup of 17 yards. Graham, a junior college transfer, one of 6 on this Georgia team.
He's one of the 50-plus club. Zaire's rolling out to him. It's a curl pattern zone coverage. He's able to get a big enough push downfield to turn the cornerback around. That's Calvin Jackson on the coverage. When you can get that kind of push and come back to the football, it creates that cushion in which Zaire could see and throw a nice pass to complete that. Georgia's starting to operate pretty well now offensively.
And Wayne McDuffie said coming into this game, the offensive coordinator, he wasn't happy with his receivers other than Hastings, but they've done a good job.
That they have.
Going up top now. And it's underthrown and intercepted. Calvin Jackson.
That ball was underthrown badly. Look at the top of your screen. Hassan Graham, good coverage by Calvin Jackson, but look how badly the ball is underthrown, and Jackson has good position. That's the second interception today for Zaire. Auburn was able to capitalize on the first one. Let's see what they do. Unfortunately, they've got the poor field position again. Calvin Jackson, good coverage. And you've seen Georgia do that today. They go to a receiver once and they go back to him on a big play. Neither one has worked. They tried it with Hastings earlier.
Auburn starting on its own 1-yard line, and there are flags down on the field. And the center, Greg Thompson, got his world rocked too.
Oh, he's going to have to take a little aspirin after this one.
That offside on the defense, the 5-yard penalty.
Well, it was a free shot. It was a good one, if nothing else.
I think it's Casey Burnham. I don't know what made him go on that play. I didn't see any real flinching by the Auburn offensive line, but now it's 1st and 5.
Looked like a 7-10 split. He got Thompson as well as the quarterback.
He'll change from a 6'2" person to a 6'1" person after that.
1st and 5. And they get the first down out to the 11-yard line. Bostic, the workhorse, out of the backfield. Tom Wallace making the stop that time. Bostic really establishing himself as the #1 tailback here. Team's leading rusher.
It's an interesting situation now. You have 2nd and real short. I'd take a shot deep downfield off play action. I think you can come back and convert the first down on 3rd down if you have an incompletion. This might be an opportunity to use the speed of an Orlando Parker. Let's see if they decide to do that.
Well, John Parker is lined up in the slot, and they run the ball, and they get the first down. Tony Richardson, the fullback, with one of his few carries on the day.
As I said, it's always good to get those first downs and be conservative, right?
Take care of business first, huh? Mitch Davis made the tackle on Richardson. Well, one of the keys for this Auburn offense was to kind of neutralize Davis. Do you think they've done that so far today?
So far, we've seen Davis make a few plays, really in rushing the passer. But other than that, they haven't run at him that much. He is the most respected player on that front 7.
Play action, White, wide open to Richardson. Richardson puts his hat down and gets another first down.
That's how you take advantage of Mitch Davis. Mitch Davis was rushing on that play. Similar play that we saw in the first half, where they get the ball out to Richardson off a little play action, kind of bootleg action there, and that's what happened on that play.
So they move the sticks again.
So Auburn sticking with their philosophy of attacking Mitch Davis in the passing game and Carlo Butler in the running game.
Richardson with 2 receptions for a total of 35 yards. Good receiver out of the backfield. To the short side of the field, complete to the backup tight end, Sean Malone. Well, next Saturday, it's another action-packed double dip on ABC's College Football. 12 noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. The 3rd-ranked Michigan Wolverines head to Columbus for a classic Big Ten showdown against Ohio State. Then regional action as Miami takes on Syracuse, Washington against Washington State, a Southwest Conference game, as well as a game from the Wild Wild Whack. Next Saturday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern on ABC. And don't forget to call your cable operator for the pay-per-view games in your area. Bostic fumbles it, but he got it back. Number 82, Andy Fuller, pounced on the loose ball, and a huge sigh of relief from Pat Dye and his squad.
Andy Fuller with the biggest reception today for the Auburn offense. Bostic breaks through on a real nice run. Andy Fuller's hustling downfield. Right behind him, number 82 scoops it in. That's a big catch for Auburn.
One that won't show up in the stats.
No, it won't, but it'll keep that drive going.
And it's at the 48 right now with 1:45 remaining in the 3rd quarter. White looking to the wide side of the field, over the middle, complete. Look what I found. Thomas Bailey with an early Christmas present.
Hard to believe that a ball can be tipped and still maintain its speed and trajectory toward the intended receiver. But that's exactly what happened on that play.
Thomas Bailey living right.
Off the play action, White steps back. See who gets their hands up. I think as the linebacker gets his hands, I can't see the number there, but Bailey's right behind there. And boy, that ball, I mean, there's so many Georgia defenders around there. Randall Godfrey is the guy who got his hands on it, but Bailey stays with the football. Good concentration.
And a first down. White going to the air again and going up top to the speedster Parker. Incomplete. Good coverage by Chris Wilson. Well, they sure are keeping that momentum going, or trying to, John.
That they are. They took a shot in the end zone, and this is a play where there was no free safety. You want to take advantage of the speed of Orlando Parker on that play. But White might have been better served. Now watch, there's going to be no free safety in the middle of the field. He could have taken some air out of this ball and moved it to the left side a little bit more and allowed Parker to run under it. He didn't have to throw it all the way downfield as if he was throwing over the top of a free safety. That comes with experience from a quarterback, and Stan White will learn that as he goes.
They fake the inside handoff, and wide open is Dorn. First down, Tigers to the 22. Greg Trimble made the tackle. A 19-yard pickup for the backup tight end, Derek Dorn.
Well, it's so often the case, momentum in football games. You get a turnover, it does something to it. I mean, that's horrible field position by Auburn, but they know they got it on the strength of a turnover, and look what they've been able to do with this drive so far. Derek Dorn on the second reception, and Auburn has used that particular play very successfully all afternoon. That little bootleg action, throw it to the tight end out in the flat.
They set up in a trips right formation to the wide side. 50 seconds to go in the third quarter. Bostic tripped up right at the line of scrimmage by the nose guard, Casey Barnum. That just looked like an effort play.
That it was. Greg Thompson, the center, number 54, is trying to get a cutoff block on the nose tackle. Barnum either had a stun onto that side or he read the play really well. That's a terrific play by the nose guard.
Time winding down now in the third quarter, as Bailey checks back into the game for Auburn along with Parker. Bailey split to the top of your screen, Parker to the bottom. They'll get the play off. White with a lot of time runs it himself. Stand a man close to the first down.
I believe he got it.
That's the last play of the third quarter. A great fourth quarter coming up. We'll return with more action after this message and a word from our ABC station.
We put our best people on the project. Hope they come through.
One network color laser printer not only brings everyone together, it brings out the best in everyone. Intelligent color for any document, only from Xerox.
Putting it together. Before building new water mains, we had to know where the old ones were.
Xerox color not only helps with little details, it gives you the big picture too. Intelligent color for any document, only from Xerox.
Putting it together.
Imagine for a moment a performance car. One with a 4-cam, 32-valve, 250 horsepower V8. Any names come to mind?
Saturday, Columbo was up to his neck in beautiful babes.
These girls have their help.
Missing bodies.
Where's the body?
Peter Falk stars in Columbo Cries Wolf, Saturday.
We tested in laboratories. We tested on the asphalt, in the parks, and on the road. We tested when it's 102, and there is no shade. And we found that nothing replaces fluids and minerals and quenches a thirst better than Gatorade. It's been proven again and again. But just to keep us on our toes, we tested over and over again in the highest court in the land.
This year, she'll spend more time and money updating her appearance than she'll spend on her own health. This year, he'll spend more time and money maintaining his automobile than he will on his own health.
You're watching Channel 6, your 24-hour news source.
gets a little bit wild. Why not? Back at Jordan-Hare Stadium, first down and 10. Bostic. Down to the 7-yard line.
Boy, I thought he was going to get a lot more yards than that. Greg Tremble came up and put a wicked hit on it. You know, Greg Tremble's only 5'11", 180 pounds. Boy, does he pack a wallop. Still a 5-yard gain. That's a great play. That's what you want your free safety to do, to be able to fill like that and keep a 5-yarder from becoming anything more.
Bostic is a load himself at 217.
Make a lot of comparisons. Greg Tremble to Ben Smith, now who's an injured cornerback with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Bostic 2 times, but not as good as the last time. Tackled by Buster Owens. So it sets up 3rd down, and the ball now in the middle of the field in case of a field goal.
Well, that was a blitz there by Buster Owens. He came right through there. They just picked a seam. They probably took 2 gaps and filled them up with players in the defensive front and allowed the free safety to run through there. Buster Owens makes a big play for tackle for a loss. Auburn will have to throw the football here with 3rd and 6 on the 8-yard line.
Parker and Carter as they go on a silent snap. It's batted down at the line of scrimmage. Casey Barnum may have gotten one of those huge paws on it. So the drive dies inside the 10-yard line. You like that call?
Well, with a short set by a quarterback, it's hard to have separation. They're trying to use a stretch type offense with the receivers heading down towards the back of the end zone, but there's not a lot of room to operate. Stanway tried to throw a pass underneath. It was batted down. And really, with that short drop, the linemen were right in his face.
The field gets shorter, of course, down there, too. 25-yard field goal attempt now from Scott Etheridge. He's 21 of 26 on the year. Make that 22 of 27.
Etheridge is 38% of the Auburn offense this year in scoring, and that's just about right. He has 3 of the 10 points today.
Well, they'll take that 3 as they narrow the Georgia lead to 14-10.
Presenting the new Civic Del Sol from Honda. It's a sporty, open-top car with a very remarkable feature. When it's windy outside, it's not so windy inside.
This Magnavox portable CD player with pure digital sound is the best thing to take on vacation. Unless you compare it with this clever Magnavox 5-inch TV, great pictures anywhere. Of course, the best is this compact yet intelligent Magnavox camcorder with autofocus. Unless you take this Magnavox 3-inch LCD TV, which connects to my camcorder, so I can watch my vacation on the ride home. Looks as though I had a pretty good time.
The ingenious products from Magnavox. They're smart, very smart.
It seems Europeans have a passion for certain things American. And one of them happens to be the reliable, efficient delivery of a certain American delivery company, UPS. Fact is, we've built the most comprehensive delivery network in Europe. So next time you need something shipped there, use the outfit Europeans find, well, so fashionable. UPS. We run the tightest ship in Europe.
The #1 Miami Hurricanes meet Syracuse in a Big East battle. Or Washington tackles Washington State, plus other regional action next Saturday on ABC's College Football.
As nighttime slowly descends upon Jordan-Hare Stadium, Auburn kicking off. Back deep, Hastings and Hurst. That's Hastings. And he is greeted by a horde of Auburn tacklers at the 21-yard line. So on Georgia's last possession, John, Eric Zier threw a poor pass which hung up in the air for what seemed like forever, which led to the scoring drive.
2 scores for Auburn today, field goal and a touchdown, both off of interceptions from Eric Zier. What Georgia has to try and get the crowd out of the game, if they can sustain a drive here, it could hurt the Auburn chances of winning.
Harvey and Hurst in the eye. Quick three-step drop thrown behind Hastings. And dangerously close to Calvin Jackson, the cornerback.
Boy, that is a dangerous pass to throw all the way across the field and have Calvin Jackson almost pick that thing off.
Well, Monday Night Football this week, great matchup in the AFC East. It's Jim Kelly and the Buffalo Bills taking on the Miami Dolphins. And Dan Marino live, 9 Eastern Time, 8 Central, 6 Pacific on ABC. Kelly having some troubles with that elbow of his of late. Second down, and Garrison Hurst, rough going, and a fumble. Auburn says they have it. Of course, you expect them to say that.
Hard to say what happened. Georgia likes to run that toss play into the short side of the field. No tight end offense right now. Tight end split out. They like to run this toss play into the short side of the field. Garrison cuts in, doesn't have real good ball control there. We see it. Oh, the ball does come out. I think Frank Harvey may have come in and made the recovery. That's your fullback helping you out. So 2 near turnovers on back-to-back plays for Georgia.
John, they're 5 of 11 this afternoon on third down conversions. And Garrison Hurst gets the first down and a little more. Tackled by Anthony Harris as the crowd is quieted.
That's the bread and butter of this offense. Get the ball to Garrison Hurst. Tight end blocks down on the play. Frank Harvey on a nice lead block. They pull the offensive guard around, number 79, Steve Robertson. If Georgia could just give the ball to Hurst and he can make first downs like this is all that offense would like to do right now.
28 rushes, 95 yards.
He's earned every one of them, too. They have not come easily.
Make that 29. And he's out to the 38-yard line. Got about 4 yards on first down, tackled by Tim Cromartie. You know, you're mentioning Garrison Hurst earlier and how he's been able to maintain extremely humble during all the publicity that he's received over the last 4 weeks. And the coaching staff was telling us it was good that the hype really didn't start until about the 4th week of the season with him.
That is true in that particular case. And a guy like him, I think, just enjoys playing the football game, and he has to deal with the publicity, and he handles it very well.
Hurst again turns the corner and is about 2 yards shy of the first down. Picked up 4 on that one. Pushed out of bounds by Cunningham and the cornerback, Fritz Smith.
A player of Hurst's ability is so good, too, and so strong that as the game drags on, defenders generally will lose a half a step. And a guy like him can turn that short gain into a big gain in this situation. There he seemed to have a burst, whereas the Auburn defense didn't, and he was able to squeeze out a few extra yards.
3rd and 2. Who do you think? It's going to be close. Tackled by Willis, the middle linebacker. And Willis and Hurst share a few words on the turf.
This is going to be close. They'll measure it. Watch Hurst. I think he's got to stretch this play a little bit more. He has a double team block by his tight end and left tackle on the left side of the football. But as soon as he gets the ball in his hands, and we'll check the measurement here, Hurst breaks it back, and that's what you talk about, great vision from great running back.
When you say stretch,
well, he's got to try the play side hole a little bit more. That allows the defense to maybe overrun the play and create a gap. But hey, he's the Heisman Trophy candidate. What do I know? Hey, and he got the first down, so he's getting the job done.
Stretched it enough. First down and 10. As we take another look.
Well, he gets the ball in his hand and he's already cutting it back, and the play is designed to go over the left side. But great running backs do that, and when you get a first down, the coach will never question you.
Play action, the waggle, and Zier is tackled back at the 35. The 3rd sack of the afternoon for this Auburn defense. Willie Whitehead and Randy Hart with a heart attack.
Willie Whitehead pretty pleased with himself. I think this is a pretty good call. I'm surprised that Willie White would be up to this. I mean, Georgia has run the ball. A real nice play action fake by Eric Zier, and he stayed with it, but Willie White kept contained, which he has to do. got upfield and made the tackle, and Hart as well. So Auburn sniffed that thing out. Now they have what they want. They've got Georgia in a second and real long.
You really can't fault this Auburn defense for much this afternoon. 2nd and 18. Play action. Zier going up top to Hastings. He's open, and it's knocked away nicely by Fred Smith.
That is terrific coverage by Fred Smith. Timing his jump, flicking the ball away with his left hand. Hey, you've got a guy like Andre Hastings on you on play action. He is all yours. And Fred Smith reads the play, runs down. Now watch him flick the ball away with his left hand. What great timing. What terrific timing. Terrific play by Fred Smith.
John, we saw Zier hang one up earlier. Do you think that one was underthrown a little bit?
I don't think so. I think that ball was put pretty well. It was just good coverage by Fred Smith on that play.
Georgia facing 3rd down and long, 18 to be specific. They fake the inside handoff. Zier completes it at midfield, but it's about 4 yards shy of the 1st down. That was Jeff Thomas making the catch.
Georgia ran that play earlier today. They ran it there. Jeff Thomas probably could have pushed up to the 1st down marker. The way that play is set up, there's a lot of time to make it develop. There's a play action fake, there's a draw fake, and everything else. Zier's rolling up. That particular instance, the receiver, Jeff Thomas, should have set up beyond the 1st down marker.
Well, if you're Auburn, I don't think that Georgia will fake it. They're in good field position to do that, but they hang it up high. Bailey catches it at the 19-yard line. A pooch punt of 31 yards as Ray Zoff encourages his troops. We'll be right back.
When you publish thousands of newsletters a week, color is out of the question.
Invest in the fastest highlight color laser printer and come to a different conclusion. Intelligent color for any document, only from Xerox.
Our sales figures were confusing. No one understood them.
With our digital color copier, you get the clarity of color with the stroke of a pen and touch of a screen. Intelligent color for any document, only from Xerox.
Putting it together.
With its distinctive aerodynamic shape, anti-lock brakes, advanced engine technology, and roomy interior, the Honda Civic EX sedan is often admired by other car makers. Some we know, some we don't.
Toomer's Drug Store has been a part of Auburn and part of Auburn University since before the Civil War. We've been making lemonade at Toomer's since 1896, and the recipe has never changed.
It's better.
Well, you know what? The custom here is that Auburn wins a game, they throw toilet paper all over the Toomer's joint, and if they lose, they still toilet paper the place.
That's a tough way to go.
Dorn complete to the 25-yard line. John, that's a play that you really like.
That's a play they've run successfully all day, and Dorn on the reception there. Georgia has yet to defense this play, and it's smart of Auburn to go to it until they see that Georgia can't stop it, and now they wind up in a 2nd and 5 situation, which is just what Auburn wanted on this drive.
Well, if time permits, stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental post-game report, featuring scores and highlights from across the country.
Well, this is not a panic drive yet with 9 minutes and 39 seconds left in the game, but Auburn's got to score on this one or they'll get the ball maybe one more time.
Dorn got 5 on 1st down. The inside handoff to Bostic, and Bostic may have gotten 2. Tell you something about the importance of this ball game today, other than what it means in the standings. The official attendance, 85,214. The first sellout of the season here at Jordan-Hare Stadium.
Recruiting rights, loyalties to the schools, ability to one-up the other team is all plays into this rivalry between these two teams. It began 100 years ago in Piedmont Field in Atlanta, Georgia.
3rd and 2, White, complete and a first down to the near side of the field, out of bounds at the 34 is Frank Sanders. They really drilled that one in there.
It's Frank Sanders' first reception this afternoon, too. He plays some tight end occasionally. They move him around. He's a real good receiver. He runs a simple out. White stands tall in the pocket and delivers a perfect strike to the sideline. Auburn continues their drive here now with 8 minutes and 57 seconds left in the game.
Thomas now coming out to the bottom of your screen. They come out in a trips right formation. And they run it to Bostic. Bostic found some room up the middle out to the 40-yard line. Nice pickup of about 6 or 7. Tackled by Charlie Clemens and Randall Godfrey.
Interesting there that Stan White was under center the previous 2 plays. He operated out of the shotgun. I think on certain plays they want to maybe hand off a draw, or they want to give him good vision, and if he has to pass the ball, which he had to do on 3rd down, then of course before that he ran a draw play to Bostic out of the shotgun. But you'll see him go under center, and you'll see him work from the shotgun depending on the down and distance.
A little confusion now on the Auburn side, running players in and out, and because of that confusion, Stan White has to call a timeout with 8:20 remaining in the 4th quarter play. We're going to take a break, but don't go away.
Will be held tomorrow afternoon at 2:30 at the Auburn United Methodist Church.
Introducing the 190 horsepower Prelude VTEC. It's very quick, no matter how you look at it.
Far from Bourbon Street, in its own little corner of the Garden District, is the most fabled house in New Orleans, the Maple Street Children's Bookshop, where the folks who write the books also read them. So if you go, bring your wildest imagination and your Visa card, because at Maple Street they'll take you on a truly magical journey, but they won't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
At Radio Shack, there's more to the name. Top electronics, computers and games, more products and service than ever before. It's all from America's technology store. The best in America, Radio Shack. Nobody compares to Radio Shack. Names you can trust, products you know, the service you count on, that one place to go. For the best in America, Radio Shack.
Well, it's not quite time to press the panic button, but time to get the job done here for Auburn. 2nd down and 4. Now, was there contact or wasn't there? The offensive line has a move.
Still now, boy, are they trying to make a point to the officials or what?
Freeze it.
Okay, guys, you can move now. Offside on the defense.
Look at this.
Up for a first down.
In unison.
When you see something like this, I can almost guarantee you that Auburn has gone on the same cadence all afternoon. And all Stan White had to do was change it once. You saw how many Georgia. It wasn't one guy for Georgia. It was the entire defensive unit. What a great time to change the cadence up by Stan White.
Well, they get the easy first down. The ball is at the 45. Bostic over the right side, a gain of 3 yards. Right now, let's go back to New York with an update from John Saunders.
Mark, Arizona and USC, George Malaulu, the left-hander, slings this one up, looking for Kerry Taylor, who camps underneath and has it to the end zone for the touchdown. They lead 7-6 in the 4th quarter. Mark.
Well, Well, Arizona trying to avoid the letdown after that huge win last week against Washington. Second down and 8 right here at Jordan-Hare Stadium. 7:42 remaining in the ball game. Stan White. Run for your life right is the play, and he's tackled at the 48-yard line by Charlie Clemens.
Auburn trying to get big yardage out of that play. All the receivers were well downfield, 20 or 30 yards or more. Charlie Clemens ran down Stan White. Have to be impressed with the job Stan White has done so far today. He hasn't thrown any interceptions. He's 13 for 20 for 169 yards. Making very good decisions as a quarterback.
Stan White has matured during the course of the season.
Came into the game as a 49 or almost 50% passer. So today, adding to those numbers.
Trips left for Auburn. White on the run again. Completes the pass to Parker. First down at the 30 for the Tigers.
Gain for Orlando Parker. The quarterback can buy a little extra time. Receivers can uncover, and that's what Orlando Parker did on this play. By scrambling around a little bit extra there, Stan White's able to buy some time. A nice throw across his body, too. That is a difficult throw. Linebacker Randall Godfrey was in on coverage there. Charlie Clemens, number 48, cleaned him up for the tackle. But Orlando Parker did a nice job of uncovering in the zone coverage. Stan White did a terrific job of finding him.
The track guy showing a little savvy there, getting open. 3 receptions, 42 yards, and here's Bostic down to the 22. Greg Jackson and Randall Godfrey made the tackle, but a nice pickup close to the first down.
A huge play on the right side of the line. Chris Gray, number 68, the senior offensive tackle, opens up the hole. I don't know if you saw his block, but there was a lot of running room there. That might have been the biggest hole today we've seen for James Bostic in the running game.
5:50 remaining in the fourth quarter. Hurst with over 30 carries, but James Bostic as busy at 25. Richardson, the fullback, gets the first down inside the 20 down to the 18-yard line. And the fans voiced their appreciation.
We weren't quite sure who's going to start for that offensive line today. And there, Shane Kiesler, number 60, makes a nice block. He's playing at the right guard position. 54, Greg Thompson, the center. These guys are getting after it. They can smell that victory. They can taste that victory. And, oh, this would go a long way for healing some of the wounds that have been opened up this week in the Auburn football program.
They had the week off, and they had a lot of time to mull over their future. And it's 1st and 10, 9th play of the drive. And smartly, he throws it away, and a late flag on the sideline. Bailey got hammered, and it might be a personal foul against Georgia.
Randall Godfrey came through on the blitz. Another smart decision by Stan White. He didn't give up the sack. He got rid of the football. Godfrey came through on the blitz, and I think we're going to have a personal foul.
I guess Ray Goff's contention is that the ball wasn't catchable.
Well, that would be for interference, but for personal foul, it's personal foul.
Here's another look at it. We'll see if
Bailey on the side. We just said now the ball is way overthrown. And I guess it's a shot to the head, which is illegal. That's a personal foul. That's how it was called on that particular play. Brian Moore.
Very
personal. That's the call against him. Maybe that was Chris Wilson. That was number 16, wasn't it? Chris Wilson gets the personal foul. Couldn't come at a worse time for Georgia.
First down and goal for the Tigers. The ball at the 9. Richardson tripped up at the line of scrimmage and falls forward to the 8-yard line. Casey Barnum and Mitch Davis in on the tackle.
Well, field goal does no good here. Auburn has to get it into the end zone. It'll be interesting to see what happens if they are faced with a 3rd down situation or a 4th down situation. But I would say right now with 2nd and 8, they've got to put the ball in the air 2 times and see if they can score a touchdown.
Ball is on the right hash. And Bailey comes out to the wide side of the field.
Let's see if they go to that waggle action.
Parker is on the short side of the field. They hand it off to Bostic. Nothing doing up the middle.
I'd say they should have gone to the Guagalash on that play. The Georgia defense was up to that play. Great surge up front. All those linebackers are up very close. And it looks like Tom Wallace, number 92, is the first guy to make the hit. But there were several other Georgia Bulldogs right there next to him ready to clean up on that particular play.
To say they were ready for that one would be an understatement. 3rd and goal, 11th play of the drive. Can they cash in? Into the end zone on the fade pattern. It's intercepted. Al Jackson with a big play in the end zone to snuff the drive.
Pass was intended for Orlando Parker, intercepted by Jackson.
Al Jackson just had better position on that play. Tailway's trying to throw a corner out to Orlando Parker, using speed once again in the wide side of the field to run under the football. But Al Jackson had the body position, and this is when a cornerback becomes a rebounder as he's playing basketball almost. Al Jackson just with the superior position. Orlando Parker could not knock it loose, and no, there's no tie catch there going to the offense. Al Jackson had that all the way.
That was Auburn's 6th turnover in the red zone in the last 5 games. And a crucial one there. Hurst is tackled behind the line of scrimmage, a loss of 2. And now, John, the clock becomes a factor, ticking and ticking with 3:38 remaining. Etheridge and Willie Whitehead in on the tackle.
Those turnovers, well, turnovers always kill you, but the turnovers in scoring territory in the end zone are particularly painful. I mean, think of it this way. Auburn could have kicked a field goal, been down by 1, and they can drive, kick a field goal to win the game. Now they have to drive and score a touchdown in order to win this game. Georgia is going to try not to let them have the football anymore.
2nd down and 11. Play action. They're going to go to the air or try. Zaire throws it out of bounds, incomplete to the near side of the field. Well, next Saturday, number 3 Michigan against Ohio State, doubleheader action live starting at 12 noon Eastern time, 9 a.m. Pacific, and then regional coverage featuring Miami, Syracuse, Washington against Washington State, a game from the Southwest Conference, as well as one from the WAC. Next Saturday on ABC. Right here, 3:04 remaining, and Georgia leads 14-10. This Auburn defense has done a stellar job, and this is their most critical juncture. Time to get busy and get with the program.
Georgia looks confused offensively. They didn't line up right. Zaire's forced to use a timeout. It's really of no consequence because the clock was already stopped with the incompletion.
Well, there's a timeout on the field as Zaire and Goff and the coaching staff talk it over. And as they take a timeout, so will we. We'll be back after you give us the break.
Make it clear. Make it colorful. Make it both. The DeskJet 550C. With DeskJet printers from Hewlett-Packard, it's easy to make it happen.
If you want to go places in any career, ask yourself, can I perform under pressure? Can I be counted on to get the job done? You can learn how in the Army, so when you're ready to take off, you'll know you can go far.
This is the new Civic Coupe from Honda. Maybe you'd like to take a second look.
Take the heat out of shaving. Soothe your razor burn with post-shave conditioning hydrogel from Old Spice. Because when you've got proof, who needs promises? Here. There.
Everywhere. The DeskJet Portable. DeskJet printers from Hewlett-Packard. Make it happen.
Third down and 11 for Georgia. Auburn needs a stop. Sacked. The fourth one of the afternoon for Auburn.
James Willis gives his team another chance here. One thing Eric Zier did not want to do is force the football downfield. He play action passes. By this time, hey, people are already in his face. Tim Cromartie, 61, gets a piece of him. He's actually the first guy to touch Eric Zier, and the coverage downfield is great, and boy, is Willis fired up.
And Pat Dye is on the field arguing with one of the officials. He was pointing in the direction of the game clock. We're not exactly sure what happened, but Dye had something to argue about.
Well, there were over 3 minutes left. And now there's 2 minutes and 42 seconds left, and you have to wonder if a little more time clicked off there than it should have. It shouldn't happen at home, though.
No, exactly. I was just going to say that. But this one looks like it'll go down as one of the great finishes in this storied rivalry. Ray Goff, as a player, was 2-1 against Auburn. And as a coach, he won for the first time last year, 37-27, back between the hedges. Scott Armstrong came into the ballgame averaging 38.2 yards per punt. And this will be his most crucial one of the day. 4th and 14. Willis, after that last tackle, with 15 on the day. A nice high punt, not too deep at the 50-yard line. Bailey with a nice return of 6 yards, 6 hard-fought yards after that 34-yard punt. 2:36 remaining. The tackle was made by James Warner of Georgia. The wheels are turning inside that man's head, John, no doubt.
This is it. This is the last drive here. Well, a nice way for Pat Dye to get his 100th win in this game, which means so much to him as a former Georgia Bulldog.
White on the afternoon, 14-23, 190 yards, but a big interception last time. 2 wide receivers out to the top of your screen. Out of the backfield, wide open, is McMillan. Reed McMillan sneaks into the game. He's been injured for the past few weeks and makes his first catch of the day.
That's a good play. I mean, there's a big stretch downfield. McMillan there slips through. When you have all your receivers downfield, you can slip your back through, and he's able almost to get a first down. Not quite. Dorn coming out of the ballgame. McMillan was their leading rusher before he was injured. Here he is again. And he gains the first down. John, what do you think? Is Dye trying to bring in a fresh back, a fresh set of legs? Is that it? Not really. What he wanted to do there was just get the first down, because as they move the chains in college, the clock stops. White's getting a play call as quickly as he can. The clock is stopped at 1:57, and the officials will wind it as soon as the ball is set. Now the play is called, and effectively Auburn can get a play called without using any time at all.
A field goal doesn't help them. They need a score. White throws it complete and out of bounds to Sanders at the 17-yard line. Stan White, cool under pressure.
Speaking of cool under pressure, Stan White waited for this pattern to develop. The receiver got bumped around a little bit, and he had to really thread that in there. Very well thrown ball. Sanders had to work inside, then work back outside, and he was getting bounced around a little bit. White had enough time, and he had the presence of mind to stay with him and then change the kind of throw, stick it in there. White and Sanders broke it flat to the sideline, which is what he had to do in order to make that pass complete.
First down. Ball on the 17-yard line. 1:46 to go. White batted down at the line of scrimmage by Mitch Davis.
Actually, that might have helped Auburn on that particular play, because it didn't look like a lot was happening. The clock is stopped at 1:42, and I don't know where that ball was really intended, because I saw nothing but Georgia Bulldogs, and it looked like it was going to be a short pass.
Yeah, they had Bailey and Parker split to this side of the field. He was looking in that direction, but it never had a chance.
Well, this is definitely 4 down territory. 2nd and 10, ball on the 17-yard line, and Auburn is going to have to throw to win here. They need to get the ball in the end zone.
On the silent count, White. Stan White down to the 8-yard line. He was hit there by Travis Jones. He's just shy of the first down. At the conclusion of today's game, we'll be selecting a Chevy MVP from each team for the 22nd year. The program, $1,000 will be donated to the General Scholarship Fund of each school.
Oh, Auburn needs to. They're in disarray right now.
3rd and 1. The handoff to Bostic. I don't think he got it. You called it, John.
They were set. That's right. Mark, they had 2 substitutions on that play to run a draw play. I guess they ran it in from the sidelines, but now the clock keeps ticking. Auburn doesn't win to use the timeout, but it's 4th down. They have to use the timeout here. They have 1 timeout left, and they have to convert this.
This is it. 4th and 2. Bostic. He got it.
All on second effort.
And the clock is running with, and now it stops.
Stops with the 1st down conversion, but I would have used the timeout there. I think they're a little bit lucky to be able to convert that thing the way they did. I mean, that was the play. Now it's 1st and 5 on the 5.
4 down, Eagle.
Stan White has done an excellent job this afternoon. There's a timeout on the field. 29 seconds to go on the game clock. Do not leave.
It seems Europeans have a passion for certain things American. And one of them happens to be the reliable, efficient delivery of a certain American delivery company, UPS. Fact is, we've built the most comprehensive delivery network in Europe. So next time you need something shipped there, use the outfit Europeans find, well, so fashionable. UPS. We run the tightest ship in Europe.
In a moment of inspiration, Rockport combined the lightweight comfort of its walking shoe with the rugged performance of its hiking boot. The Discovery Series by Rockport. Do not try this at home. Rockport, you should be in our shoes.
There have been many a dramatic finish in this series between Georgia and Auburn, and this one could be second to none. It's 1st down and goal for the Tigers. The ball is on the 5-yard line. Auburn has just used its last timeout. They have none remaining. It's a full house backfield. Bostic and Parker and Frazier. This is Parker. He's got the corner.
He did not get
no
in.
signal. Out of bounds at the 1-foot line.
That is a terrific call. I'm wondering why they're in a full house backfield with no timeouts, but instead of using a running back at the right side of that T formation with 3 backs there, they slip in Parker, the fastest guy on the football field. And I'll tell you, if he knew a little bit more about running, he might have been able to get in there. I mean, he tried the best he could to ball extend and get in the end zone. That ball is on the half-yard line. Now watch him try to extend now. I think he tried a little bit too late to extend that football. That is a great call to the wide side of the field with Parker on the right side of that T formation. And now I believe Georgia's called a timeout.
Boy, does Pat Dye have his thinking cap on or what?
I honestly had no, because I knew with 29 seconds left, if they ran the football and they didn't obviously get in the end zone, the clock would keep going. They couldn't make a 1st down. They're out of timeouts.
And Georgia
Auburn slips that play in, and they're able to get away with it and use it. That's
Georgia with 1 timeout remaining.
And I bet you, Mark, that probably part of the thinking there was, if you think you're going to get hit or you don't think you can get in the end zone, get right out of bounds. Just use your 10-6, 100-meter stick and get out of bounds. And that's exactly what Parker did, but he was able to turn the corner and almost get in the end zone.
That's probably what Dye said to Parker. He said, hey, if you're not going to get a touchdown, you run to the closest sideline.
Here's the issue now. 19 seconds left in the game. second down, a goal to go. You might be able to run the football, but boy, if you get stopped, I would think that the first thing you have to do is just line up and stop the football, throw it on the ground, and just do whatever you can do as a quarterback. Just line everybody up and throw the football down on the ground. Down the football, and you might have about 5 seconds left to call one more running play. Then again, you have the bootleg situation, which they might try and do and throw the ball incomplete and then maybe try and run on third down.
Here we go. Second and goal. 2 tight ends in. Full house backfield.
Fumble.
No signal and a fumble. The clock is running.
Clock is running.
The clock is running.
Officials have to set the football here.
And time runs out on Auburn. Time runs out. That's it.
What a bizarre ending to this football game. There was a fumble on that play, but the officials should call timeout and take an official timeout.
They couldn't unstack the pile. And the ball lay there as the clock wound down.
But for 15 seconds, you normally see officials wave their hands over their heads to determine just exactly what's going on, and that's an official timeout. That probably should have happened in that situation. As we say, Ray Goff and Pat Dye talk right now, and oh, the disappointment on Pat Dye's face.
The Auburn drive dies at the 1-yard line.
People are standing on their feet with their mouths open. They can't believe the way this game has ended.
They are in stunned silence, and they're not leaving.
Nobody's leaving. They want the officials to rectify this thing. And I really have to question what happened there with the officiating. I believe that there's a situation where they could have called an official timeout to at least unwind the bodies and figure out who had the football.
And you know for a fact, John, that Georgia players were going to be very slow to get off of that ball.
That they were. That they were, that they did, and they're well coached in that regard. They knew what to do, but what a bizarre end. Look at Ray Goff. I mean,
he doesn't know what happened.
Hyperventilating.
Stan White, with a yeoman effort this afternoon, he played his heart out. And to see the game die on the 1-yard line and end in a graveyard at the 1-yard line is just heart-wrenching.
I mean, the atmosphere here is almost surreal. People are just, look at them. People are standing, they're shocked, they're dismayed, they're disappointed. They really don't understand how this game could have ended the way it has. It's almost as if they want to stay here and wait until the players are brought back out on the field, but it won't happen. It's a final. 14-10, Georgia wins, and you know, they're going to take the programs from these games and put them in a time capsule and open them up 50 years from now and 100 years from now for future generations to read and look at. I wonder if they're going to put an asterisk in there and write the final score and say how it ended.
You know, John, what appeared to be a lifetime down there at the goal line, time enough to run at least 2 plays. They ran 1, Auburn did, and it's ball game over.
Absolutely. I think Ray Goff's thinking he's still waiting to see the officials, see if they're going to run back on the field and say, hey, you have to play another down.
And, you know, for Pat Dye and his Auburn squad, that loss is in some way symbolic of the way that their season has gone.
That is so true.
It has been a mountain of frustration as the Georgia Bulldogs and of the 5 run off victorious 14-10.
Most people know State Farm sells car and homeowners insurance. Some people don't know State Farm sells life insurance too. I'm State Farm agent Cecil Burt. Our life insurance policies, our prices, and our financial ability to deliver on our promises, plus the good neighbor service State Farm agents are famous for, have made State Farm one of the largest of all life insurance companies and an outstanding life insurance value.
State Farm sells life insurance. Rockport has combined the lightweight comfort of its walking shoe with the rugged performance of its hiking boot. The Discovery Series by Rockport. It wasn't as easy as it looks. With Rockport, you should be in our shoes.
It seems that most car rental companies go out of their way to confuse you with unpredictable rates. They're all over the place. Thrifty, on the other hand, never veers off course. To keep your rates low, we've always kept our cost low.
You can use this credit card for Montgomery Ward car rental at participating Thrifty locations and at the Auto Express in Montgomery Ward.
When it's your money, always call Thrifty.
Back at Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn, Alabama, a very controversial ending to this contest between two heated and storied rivals. As Georgia wins it 14-10, Auburn had a chance to win in the end, but it died when time ran out. The Chevrolet most valuable players of the game are tailback Garrison Hurst for Georgia, 31 rushes, 105 yards, and a couple of TDs. And for Auburn, linebacker James Willis, boy, what a day he had. 15 tackles, 11 of them solo, and 1 tackle for loss. Chevrolet will donate $1,000 to each school's General Scholarship Fund to reward outstanding students for their athletic and academic achievements to assist those in financial needs. And Auburn needed that one.
They didn't get it from the end zone. T formation again. That looks like Stan White tries to get the ball to the second back, who is James Bostic. The ball pops up in the air. Now there's a scramble for the football, and I honestly don't know who recovered it. But at this point, I believe the officials should have come in and waved their hands over the head to unpile people and determine who has the football. Little mix-up on the handoff. The ball flies up in the air.
And John,
hard to determine who has the football. Actually, they're saying no, it is Auburn's football. And at that point, the official may be saying, okay, it's Auburn's football, let's get back in the huddle. So that is the determination at the end of the game, and the most I can make at this right now, Mark. But a controversial ending here at the 100th anniversary of Georgia-Auburn.
A wild finish. You got to love it. Now back to New York and John Saunders.
All right, thanks a lot, Mark. While we have the time, I want to ask you two gentlemen, at the end of that game, the controversial play, it looked to me like one official was trying to signal to stop the clock with about 4 seconds left. He didn't get the call. How did you guys see it?
Well, I thought the same thing, John. There had to be at least 8 or 9 seconds at the time of the pileup on the goal line, but the clock just kept running. From our vantage point, I wasn't able to see either of the officials making a motion to stop the clock, and indeed it kept running.
If you'll notice, you saw the head linesman come in and point to the ground to say the ball's down. It is second down, and in that case, the clock would run. But other officials were perhaps not sure who had the football at that point, and then they would call an official timeout to determine who had possession of the football.
All right, 14-10 either way, though, John.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. And Georgia gets the win on this one. Controversial at the end of the game, although Pat Dye really did not argue too much about this play. The fumble by Auburn on the 1-yard line. It is Auburn's football as they recover, but the clock continues to run. Ray Goff, you can see, saying to his Georgia Bulldog football team, stay down, because the clock is running, and he's going to get out of this game without Auburn having a chance to run another play. No timeout left. And as a result, the officials never stopped the clock. It did look as though one of them was trying to stop it with about 3 or 4 seconds left. The clock runs out. Stan White, you can see, with his complaints to the official, but it's not enough. Auburn, a drive that goes to the 1-yard line, and they do not manage to get it across. Georgia right now with just a half-game lead over Florida in the SEC East. Keep in mind, however, that they are done. Florida has a chance to win that with a victory against Vanderbilt because they're both tied in the loss column, and Florida has beaten Georgia earlier this year. We want to give you some bonus coverage in the Pac-10. Arizona facing a USC in this one has been back and forth. Arizona had the lead, but USC is on top now. 14-7 is the lead. Let's now join Tim Brandt and Lynn Swan. Gentlemen.
We want to welcome those of you who have been watching the game between Georgia and Auburn. Welcome to the LA Memorial Coliseum. Tim Brandt along with Lynn Swan in a game that has been to this point sensational. 3 minutes remain in the ball game, and SC has the lead over Arizona, 14-7. Keep in mind, the Wildcats on a 5-game win streak. Beat top-ranked Washington last week. Aspirations of the Rose Bowl, and now they're on the ropes. This is McFadden. White McFadden doesn't get much. Scoring summary, Estes Creighton got USC on the board. That made it 6-0, missed the extra point. Then Kerry Taylor with a 41-yard touchdown reception from Mala'ulu on a spectacular play. And then USC came back on a terrific drive just moments ago.
Gadget play, pitches it to Deion Strother, who turns and throws it. And watch Rob Johnson go up and taken away from the starting cornerback for the Wildcats, Daryl Morrison, number 27. And then Rob Johnson comes back with a rifle to Conway for the 2-point conversion. And that brings the score to 14-7.
Rob Johnson, former receiver in high school. But we should tell you this. USC missed field goals on their first 2 possessions of the game. They could be leading by more.
Well, it's been an absolutely beautiful day here in Los Angeles for the kickers, both USC and for Arizona. They've had a tough afternoon.
Timeout taken by Arizona. They have 2 remaining. SC has 1 left. SC was held just to 17 yards in the 3rd quarter. And then here in the 4th went 76 yards for a touchdown.
We anticipated, especially for all of you that just joined us, that this was going to be a defensive struggle. It has been. Both teams on defense have played exceptionally hard, but there have been some offensive standouts for Southern California and for Arizona. Rob Johnson, we mentioned already. For Arizona, Troy Dickey, number 84, has been playing phenomenally for his team.
SC will try to melt the clock. Arizona's defense, Desert Swarm, will try to stop them, and here they do. It won't be enough for the first. Strother, the carrier. The importance of this game we alluded to a moment ago. Washington still in control of its own destiny and has to win out, and they will go on to the Rose Bowl. Arizona has to win out and hope that Washington either loses or ties, and then Arizona goes.
And Washington won today, so their record will go up to 6-1.
Arizona takes its last time out here as you look at the remaining schedules.
Arizona taking on their state rival. USC here, or actually in Pasadena. And next week, Washington and Washington State in Pullman.
2:39 left in the game, so Arizona's timeout leaves them with 1, and SC also has 1.
Now it's 4th down. Obviously, USC is going to punt the football. Heath Bray, number 14 for the Arizona Wildcats, is the backup quarterback, but he is also captain of special teams. I bring this up because his nickname is Crash. He has blocked 5 punts in his career. He's blocked 2 in 1992. So I believe that Larry Smith has his team on the sideline, is getting them ready to make sure they don't make mistakes when Heath Bray lines up on them.
You saw a look at Dick Tomey. He was 1-2-1 at the end of September. Has not lost since. He's in 2nd place, a half game behind Washington. He met with every player individually during those hard times. Turned the frustrations into energy, and it's paid off.
And this has been the kind of football game where you have to make sure you follow through on every play. You take nothing for granted. Bray, number 14.
John Stonehouse to do the punting for SC. Terry Vaughn is deep, standing at his own 35.
John Stonehouse, the punt formation. Terry Vaughn back to receive.
A high tail wagger of a punt. Vaughn at the 40 gives a weak fair catch signal, and that's where it will be down to 39-yard punt. We want to welcome those of you who have been watching the Ohio State-Indiana game. Tim Brandt and Lynn Swan with you at the LA Coliseum. 2:26 remaining in this ball game. And USC leads Arizona 14-7. The Wildcats with the football. Mala'ulu. With time over the middle, incomplete, and Vaughn was open. Tim Brandt and Lynn Swan with you. And it has been a very physical football game. USC took the early lead, 6-0, and held that lead throughout most of the ball game. They missed the extra point. The Wildcats came back in the second half, take a 7-6 lead. Let's take you through that scoring summary, Swanee.
Okay, Astros Creighton gets the first touchdown ever scored on Arizona this season in the first half. but they missed the extra point. Then Taylor comes in with a big touchdown catch and the extra point. They take the lead.
Mala'ulu with pressure across the middle, and Dickey can't hold on. The USC touchdown that put the Trojans ahead was spectacular.
It was Rob Johnson flipping back to Deion Struther, 25. He throws it, and the high school receiver, now turned college quarterback, leaps high into the air to take it away from Wildcat Darrell Morrison. Then they come right back. Curtis Conway catches a Johnson pass with a 2-point conversion and puts USC up by 7.
Rob Johnson with a spectacular catch. 2:16 left as you look at Dick Tomey. 3rd and 10. Mala'ulu has it knocked away. SC has it.
It looked like number 24, Mike Salmon, may have recovered it.
Jeff Kopp knocked it loose. Salmon recovered it. And this place is rocking.
It has been a spectacular defensive game all afternoon. You see right there, 35, Jeff Kopp punching it away. Salmon, number 24, he's been playing great all afternoon, making plays at the corner position, the corner of the defensive line, shutting down some running plays, tackles behind the line of scrimmage, and now coming up with a second big turnover against the Wildcats.
Big old Vince Smith, 72, 6'5", 360-pounder, makes his way off the Coliseum turf. Uncharacteristic 3 turnovers for Arizona today. This game has been special. Johnson, the quarterback. Conway in motion. And straight ahead goes Bender. Blasts his way inside the 20. Correction, it's Mooney to the 19, and flags fly.
Well, at this point, it's pretty obvious what USC is going to attempt to do. Keep the ball on the ground, stay conservative, use up that clock, and Dick Toomey hoping for an opportunity to get the ball back without USC scoring.
Dead ball, personal foul, defense, player's been ejected.
Well, folks, I didn't see what was done, but obviously the officials felt strong enough about this, about whatever took place, to eject the player. This has been a tough physical football game all afternoon, and no one has done anything up to this point out of the ordinary in terms of the physical nature of hitting after the player late or out of bounds. So this is very unusual.
Conway goes out of the ball game, and Wallace comes in. Morton goes out, and Jackson comes in as they go into...
Tell you what, let's look at the end of the play. Watch number 3, Bowie. He's a safety. Look at him right there. He goes down and just sticks the knee into, who was that, 82, Bradford Banta, and I believe he would be the man ejected at this moment.
Bowie goes out.
The last thing Dick Toomey wanted to have happen in this ball game.
Wait a minute, Bowie's still on the field in a safety spot. And Hopkins has gone out.
Having the expiration of time, 1:55. Thank you.
Now move the clock from 2:01 down to 1:55. But watch 82 Hopkins to the left of your screen.
I see 82 right there. He didn't do anything. I mean, I think if they ejected 82, they ejected the wrong man.
Well, they did. Because if you look out there on the 3-yard line, Tony Bowie is standing right there in the safety position.
Could it be a number? Could they be wearing double numbers? Washington does that a lot. Let's take another look. Number 82 at the top of the screen. Oh, there it is.
Got him early.
He kicked him.
Got him early.
He kicked him in the head and then walked around as if he hadn't done anything.
Rose Bowl. We've been talking about Arizona all day and about how they trailed Washington by half a game and needed Washington to tie or lose. What about USC? Still mathematically alive.
They're mathematically alive. Obviously, they have to win all their games, but Washington won big this afternoon.
To the 8.
McFadden started the ball game. They wanted to establish some kind of run. They were initially successful on a couple of opportunities, which set up some good first down plays for Rob Johnson in the passing attack.
Clock continues to move, 104, 103. Arizona has won this game the last 2 years against the Trojans. Straight ahead they go with Mooney.
And Tim, this is an emotional win for Larry Smith, having coached at Arizona. Last year when he went down there, there were some problems. The fans booed him and some hard feelings expressed. Now he comes back to the Coliseum after a loss to Stanford. Had they won, they would have been tied with Washington for first place in the Pac-10. They have that loss. He comes back here. He gets his team fired up. And when I watched him at practice, he was on the edge. He looked like he was on the crest of emotion, feeling that everything was working right this week for a big game and a big win against Arizona.
Washington won today 45-16, so that then would eliminate USC. And a loss here by Arizona and the win by Washington would put the Huskies in the Rose Bowl.
Absolutely.
48 seconds remain.
Well, Dick Toomey is to be congratulated for what he's accomplished with this football program and this team. Having knocked off Washington, bounced them out of the #1 spot.
And let's give that
loss to Miami.
Let's give that man some credit right there. Larry Smith, now in his 6th year. He's taken a lot of heat following last year's 3-8 record. Some of the alumni very vociferous. And then last week's loss to Stanford heard some of those echoes again, but he's won 3 Pac-10 titles and gets a big win here today. Still fired up.
Oh, yeah. He is. You know, you get revved up for a game this big. A lot of people that he knows and the administrative staff from Arizona are here. Some friends come in. He needs this win for his team's confidence. You can't let down.
Hanna goes to the top of the screen. Johnson just keeps it. Pushes the pack straight ahead. Washington goes to 6-1. SC will go to 5-2, and Arizona will move to 4-2-1. Which gives the Huskies the Rose Bowl.
Certainly does. Even if USC were to win next week and Washington were to lose, they tie, but going head-to-head, Washington beat USC. So they end up in Pasadena, but it's very important USC win this ball game to get the numbers up there in terms of their eligibility for a bowl. Got to have a minimum of 6 wins to be in the bowl game.
Clock continues to move. This one's in the bank.
USC just standing on the field, taking the penalty, but forcing the clock to go all the way down to 8 seconds. And they still have the ball at 4th down.
SC held to 17 yards in the 3rd quarter. Arizona took the lead, and the momentum had definitely changed, but USC came back big in the 4th.
Well, USC is, even with the win here, is still a program that has a lot of room to grow. They struggled a lot this year. Early in the season, they were giving up points, spotting the teams. They spotted Washington all 17 points when they lost to them. Had some terrible turnovers back in their own territory and won some lackadaisical games in the season. This team is still a talented football team that has a lot of room to improve, but so does Arizona. The Pac-10 is going to be a very, very tough conference.
That'll do it. The Trojans of USC will go to 6-2-1. The Wildcats of Arizona will go to 6-3-1. Arizona has that much time remaining.
This has been a hard-fought, physical football game for both teams.
Malulu, the quarterback, 3 receivers to the top, and the prevent defense by the Trojans. Incomplete, and that'll do it. USC wins it 14-7. The Chevrolet most valuable players of the game are Troy Dickey, 5 receptions, 95 yards from Arizona, and Rob Johnson from USC, 12 for 24, 213 yards, and the winning touchdown catch. Chevrolet will donate $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievements and to assist those in financial need. Once again, the final score, USC 14, Arizona 7.
Tomorrow, the PGA Tour's best hit the links for the final round of the Lincoln Mercury Kapalua International, live from the island of Maui, tomorrow on ABC Sports. ABC's College Football has been brought to you by Honda, celebrating its 10th anniversary of automobile production in the United States. By DeskJet Printers from Hewlett-Packard. DeskJet Printers, make it happen. By Magnavox, smart choices for smart people. The ingenious products from Magnavox. They're smart, very smart. And by Xerox, the document company. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.
Promotional fee has been paid to ABC by United Airlines. Come fly the friendly skies.
I have a card that lets me travel the world, meet fascinating people, and have great adventures. It's absolutely free. It's my library card. Drop by your library and check it out.
Saturday on the commission.
He's not afraid to kill. He put Connors in prison.
He was a psychopath.
He's a cop killer. He said that you were going to protect him. We all know he did it. You just have to prove it.
The commission, Saturday.
When people ask me why Subway's 6-foot subs and party platters are perfect for this time of year, I simply tell them they got what you need. Picnics for a few friends. Birthday parties. Office parties. Christmas parties. And Subway's perfect for tailgate parties.
Each week, we're giving away 6-foot subs, chips, and drinks. Enough to feed 20 people at your next get-together.
This house is perfect. Shall I write up an offer?
I don't know. I hate rushing into things. Besides, we're saving for a new convertible.
But we really need a bigger place.
Well, we better call our Alpha insurance agent about a life insurance policy to cover the amount of the mortgage.
Oh, good. Honey, have you seen the baby's room?
Baby's room?
Put your trust in people who care.
You know, my dear, it's all a part of growing up.
Call Alpha.
When you want live reports from Tuscaloosa every Monday and live reports from Auburn every Tuesday, there's only one game in town. When you want to watch the Auburn-Alabama game on TV, there's only one game in town. When you want Chopper 6 coverage of high school games, there's only one helicopter in town. Sideline 92, Friday nights on Channel 6. If we got you any closer to the action, you'd be playing the game. When it comes to football, there's only one game in town. Rick, Mike, and Ron, your 24-hour big-time sports team on Channel 6. You're watching WBRC Television, Channel 6.
The Thrifty Car Rental Post-Game Report. Brought to you by Thrifty Car Rentals. Because it's your money.
Well, welcome back to New York in the Thrifty Car Rental Post-Game Report. I'm John Saunders. Quickly, while we have a chance, let's check the scores and highlights after a great day of college football here on ABC. Miami, #1, they'll stay there. They blow at Temple 48-0. Gino Torretta, 16 for 23, 221 yards and 2 touchdowns, 122 straight passes without an interception. That is a new Miami record. Michigan settles for the tie against Illinois, but it's enough to clinch the Rose Bowl berth. Peter Elizovic, with 40-yard field goal, under a minute left, tied this game rather than going for the win. They knew they just needed the tie to get into the Rose Bowl. Meanwhile, Florida State scores 70 points at 69 last week. They blow at Tulane 70-7. Clifton Abraham had blocked the punt, 2 interceptions and 2 defensive touchdowns, rather. Washington all over Oregon State, 45-16. Napoleon Kaufman, 12 carries, 146 yards. He now is just 3 shy of 1,000 on the season. Iowa State beats Nebraska 19-10. So Nebraska, though they likely will still go to the Orange Bowl, now very much in the race. Kansas and Colorado. Colorado actually with that win over Kansas. Penn State and Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish, come back as Reggie Brooks scores on a 2-point conversion with 20 seconds left. And then after a Jerome Bettis 4-yard touchdown catch, 17-16, the Irish get the win. Arizona and USC, you saw that here on ABC. 14-7 is the final there. Syracuse and Boston College. Many of you also seeing that one here on ABC. Syracuse gets the win here over BC, setting up the big matchup with Miami next week. Syracuse intercepted Glenn Foley in the end zone 3 times in the game. Florida with a scare against South Carolina, but they get the win 14-9. They win their 18th straight at Florida Field, and right now they're in command in the SEC East. Back with more on the Thrifty postgame report in a moment.
At Thrifty Car Rental, we know renting a car for business has its good points and its bad points, its ups and its downs. So when you're shopping for a rental car, call 1-800-4CARS and rent a full-size 4-door like the new Chrysler Concorde, just $34.95 a day. Because no matter how much money you make,
it is, after all, your money. That's why I always rent from Thrifty.
You'll be shocked. You'll be laughing. And you will know beyond the shadow of a doubt. I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. I am the greatest. We're the greatest. I'm the greatest. I am the greatest. I am still the greatest of all time.
Muhammad Ali Sportswear by ABC Sports and Nutmeg Mills. It's the greatest.
Welcome back. Let's continue down the top 25. Georgia, a frightening, weird game against Auburn. Auburn was trying to score with just about 13 seconds left. They fumbled on the 1. They never got the clock stopped again. The officials let it run out. As a result, Auburn loses. Garrison Hurst, right back on track for the Heisman Trophy. 31 carries, 105 yards, and a touchdown rushing, 1 receiving as well. Colorado still very much in the hunt for the Orange Bowl now with the win over Kansas and the loss by Nebraska to Iowa State. James Hill, 8-yard touchdown run. The difference there, as well as a 2-point conversion. NC State blows out Duke 45-27. Duke turned it over 6 times, and the NC State defense has scored 5 touchdowns in the last 3 games. Washington State at Stanford. Washington State still has a chance to go to the Rose Bowl. They have to win their last 2, including a win over Washington, and right now they lead Stanford in the first quarter by 3. Ohio State and Indiana, you saw here on ABC. 27-10, the final. The Buckeyes get the win. Robert Smith, 20 carries, 175 yards. That's a career high, and 2 touchdowns. Tennessee, and for Johnny Majors, they pick up the victory 26-21. Majors, you recall, last night decided that he would step down as coach of the Tennessee Volunteers after 16 years. Basically, he was forced out of that job. We'll have more in just a moment on the Thrifty post-game report, so stay with us.
Most car rental companies might seem alike, but boy, are they different. Their rates go up, their rates go down. But at Thrifty, we've kept our costs low. So your rates are too. And that saves you money.
You can use this credit card for Montgomery Ward car rental at participating Thrifty locations and at the Auto Express in Montgomery Ward.
When it's your money, always call Thrifty.
Red, irritated eyes can say things about you that aren't true. They can look worn out, upset, stressed out, even if you're not. Use Visine Extra. It cools, soothes, gets the red out. Look your best with Visine Extra. Gravity. It's more than a fragrance. It's a force of nature. Gravity. For men. You couldn't resist it, even if you tried.
The Thrifty Car Rental post-game report has been brought to you by Thrifty Car Rental, because it's your money.
Welcome back. Let's remind you what we have coming your way next week. We'll start it at noon Eastern time with the big one every year. Number 3, Michigan facing the Ohio State Buckeyes in at 3:30. Check your local listings. Miami and Syracuse, Washington State, or a game from the Southwest Conference or the Western Athletic. A few scores before we leave you. Georgia Tech, a loser to Wake Forest, 23-10. Mike Green had 3 field goals there. Ron Dyson, 3 receptions, 128 yards, and 2 touchdowns as Grambling upsets Florida A&M. Florida A&M was number 1 in the Sheridan Black College pool, but they get the loss. Oklahoma State and Oklahoma tie 15 apiece. That takes Oklahoma out of the running for the Big 8 championship. And UCLA and Oregon, Louis Perez field goal was the game winner in this one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Good night, everyone.
Come on, let me show you what it's all about.
Sunday, it's all about rock and roll on America's Funniest Home Videos. And the Full House Twins rock out.
I like peanut butter.
On America's Funniest People, all starting at 7, 6 Central.
The LS400 is consistently rated over cars costing thousands more. So you may wonder why Lexus made over 50 new refinements. If at first you succeed, try again. Come in to Tom Williams Lexus in Birmingham and try one out today.
There are hills and mountains between us, always something to get over.
Now there's a more efficient way to reach your customers. WattSaver service from South Central Bell. It could help your small business save more money on long-distance calls in your calling zone and doesn't even require a dedicated line. WattSaver service makes it easier for your small business to get there.
Get here if you can.
Auburn Football Reviews, Sunday at 1:30 on Channel 6.